Lift off.
I have no idea how much of that stuff ever gets left in. I don't rewatch these. No idea. I should probably know. I should probably learn stuff. But we're live. We're definitely live.
Seymour
There's no time for
Gamecat
learning
says,
stuff.
God, I need something that's not. Okay. Oh, never mind. I thought he was saying he didn't need. Never mind. Oh, man. What is up, Cass? What is up, Brian? Dave? So long. It has been a long time since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear? When the Sony men come, they bring us Hitman 3 through 1. Then when 47 is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Did you hear that Hitman 3 is incredible?
It's pretty good.
Did.
I just learned it from this thumbnail. Let's cue the cat.
Cue the cat, because I got to say, what's up to gamers? Gameplay. Since who else got Hitman 3 PSVR? We did. We're going to talk about it today. It's Orbit. Hello, that Game Cat in the chat. Hello, lovely Game Cats. Adam, what is up, Adam? Up in Adam. Robbie B, the English Game Cat. Ace Bill, the Attack Cat, says happy birthday. Swipe. Haseeb Mirza, what's up, dude? That Game Cat in the. I already got you. FX78, what is up, man? JT, money. Yo, go along. Shadows, hello. Nose boots for everybody. Whoops. Pimsy the Game Cat, our local news scoop. Hugh Guyver, shout out to your cousin Mac. What is up, dude? TJ Silverlake, Johnny Raphael the Stray Cat, Trusty Mods in the house. Ryan from the VR Grid is here, everybody. Guy Son, fist bump to you. Johnny No Pockets, aka the Who Dat Game Cat. Gabriel 004, the licensed to meow Game Cat. Meow, 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 meow. Delirium Drew VR, just incredible. Just incredible. It's funny
to watch Charlie's edits. Charlie's edits is chilling with his cat watching the stream. He's got a cat.
Hell yeah. Pet your cat for me. Shades of Gray Matter, what's up? Snacks Impulse, Steve Iarique, tuning in from Ireland, Red Rover, the effing Game Cat, there's Charlie's edits. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat, Nine Lives, the Game Cat. Oh man, look at all of you. DJ, the Pumpkin Patch Kid, Wolferoni, Berber Cat, Donatello, the Scientist, Game Cat, Dark Week, Chuck, Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Day Station, Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house, Proud Dog, Lewis Knight, PSVR in the house, OG, content creator for PSVR in the house tonight. Patrick M, what is up, y'all?
I was hoping we had like 2 more hours.
What is up, y'all?
I figured just pantomime.
Shout out
to just names.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live on YouTube, because that's what live means. Live.
Yeah, that's what live means, boys.
Are you eating salad before the Resident Evil stream? And I was worried I was going to have like spinach stuck in my teeth. And I didn't check till just now. I was like using this show
How much is there?
To see if there's green stuff stuck between my teeth.
It's too pixelated for me to tell. It's way too pixelated for me to tell.
Cats, do I have anything in my teeth? Hurry up before we go live. I
see a gremlin. I see a gremlin crawling out of there.
Oh my God. Whew. Guys, we have so much stuff to talk about tonight. Obviously, we just did the Resident Evil stream, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. First up, though, we want to thank Red Rover, the effing Game Cat. Red Rover sent Joe Grover right over with a $30 donation. He says, "Oh, cool. Hitman 3 Pirate Songs by AJ. It must be a winner. Doing this now since I may need to jump into a meeting soon, but maybe not. So uncertain."
Yeah.
Well, we hope you don't.
You must work at an IT company.
Is unscheduled meetings, is that like part of the IT gig?
Well, sometimes it's like, am I going to have to be on this thing or not? Like, you don't know.
Thank you so much for your donation. Guys, obviously tons of news to talk about, lots of things to discuss, but I think we should probably begin the show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or shouldn't we, when we put 60 seconds up on the clock. The clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it. Mr. King out there somewhere, he likes it up on the counter. Probably because he's short. They lift him up and then he just seems tall. I don't know. And it's our time down here to tell you out there, the loyal Game Cats, whether you should or should not be playing and or watching the things we've been playing and doing and or watching. I think I screwed that up. Who wants to go first?
I will go first because Dave just muted himself.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure what I want to say.
All right. On your mark. Get Des. Go.
Coincidentally enough, this weekend, last Saturday, I did my live streams. Finally got my hard drive working again. Thank God. and I played some Resident Evil 7, Brian. And I played the Not a Hero DLC where you play as Chris Redfield, and you go around. Man, what a stunning looking game! Looks really good on a PS4, and can't wait to play that sequel in VR. But no, Resident Evil 7, as you guys know, one of the best PSVR games around. Look, I know it's kind of scary for some people. I was scared too. I got through it, and it ended up being one of my favorite games. What was that? I highly recommend. I highly recommend doing the same and playing Resident Evil 7. Just tough. Just be tough. Be tough. Be strong. Get through it. Push through it. It's worth it.
What if, to send a message to Capcom and Sony, I start a Resident Evil 7 stream in VR and don't stop until they announce PSVR support for Village?
Oh wow! It'll be like a hunger strike. Like you won't eat.
You won't eat. Sleep. Drink water.
Yeah.
If you've been following me on Twitter, I've been up in a tree for the last 4 months, waiting for multiplayer support for Beat Saber to be released. I said I was gonna sit up in this tree until that happened, and so I've been sitting in a tree on Twitter.
I'm gonna call that a shouldn't we? Sitting in a tree for 4 months.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we?
Shout out to Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, with the $5 donation, saying, "This show is always a hit, man." Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that dad joke.
Yeah, we need a sound effect for jokes like that.
We do. We need all sorts of sound effects. AJ, I'm guessing we never end should we or shouldn't we with a verdict. I'm guessing not a hero. You saying should we?
Absolutely should we. Isn't it free?
Oh yeah,
it's free, isn't it?
Not a hero was free
DLC.
There's no reason not to play. I mean, Resident Evil 7 is the should we, but all the DLC is also a should we too. Goes on sale all the time for dirt cheap. You can get the entire thing for $20. I mean, come on.
The gold edition is on sale right now for $20. I think. I'm gonna check that. But
Go do it.
When was the last time any of us did a shouldn't we? I feel like we always do should we's. I can't recall a shouldn't we.
I do them from time to time.
Okay.
I'm usually the only one that even does a PSVR game.
I just do should ones. Well, I mean, we talk about PSVR games for the whole show. It's the part where we can talk about other stuff.
I'm trying to think of shouldn't we's. Holy crap.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think of a shouldn't we too. Like, what did I spend my time on that I shouldn't have spent my time on? Can't think of much.
Robinson the Journey.
Hey, don't you start, okay? Listen, today's already been a bad enough day. We don't need insult to injury. Shout out to Firebird Old School with the
Sekiros.
150 Sekiros.
1,500 Sekiros.
Cheers, PSVR, and shout out to Belramio for making the Swords of Gargantua a joy to play last week. Man, Bell's making the rounds, huh? He's playing swords with everybody. I really want to play more Swords of Gargantua. I'm a little nervous that trophy's glitched, and I've sort of put my platinum on hold until we find out if that Judgment trophy's glitched, because I don't want to spend 10 more hours playing that game if I'm not going to be able to get the platinum. So, very excited, though. Love that game. Thank you again, Firebird Old School. And, shout out to Belramio, man. Keeping that game alive. All right. Dave, are you ready?
Sorry, somebody from my work is sending me an IM. You go. Okay, and I'll go third.
I'll go. Where is the timer? The timer disappeared. Oh, I found the timer. All right. On my mark, get Dez and go. So I was playing some PSVR before Hitman came out, and I'm just kind of goofing off, looking what was on my PlayStation 5. And I don't actually know when I downloaded Moss onto my PlayStation 5, but it was there. And I was trying to free up space for Hitman and stuff like that. So I was like, I haven't played Moss for a while. I'm gonna play Moss for a little bit. And Moss, I'm only bringing this up because we needed some shouldn't we's.
Are you doing Moss?
Yeah.
No, you son of a bitch. No way.
And so I started the game up. And I'm running around this little tiny mouse, and I'm like, oh, look at this little tiny mouse. She can suck it. God damn it, Quill. No, Moss is awesome. I love to torture AJ, but Moss is awesome. I don't
bringing the heat lately, man.
Right. I don't have much to say about it. I played it for like an hour, and just remember how beautiful it was, and it really, really is beautiful. It's a definite should be.
Nice. Woo, man.
Yeah. I had literally.
You had me questioning our friendship for a second.
Yeah, every time you bring up Bloody Roar, I do the same thing. But no, I literally had nothing to say about Moss at all. But man, it's just a beautiful game, man. That soundtrack in like the diorama settings and stuff, it's just so magical and beautiful. It's like, obviously it's a should we need to talk about it more. We need to talk about so many PlayStation VR games more. It's one of those games where people go, why doesn't anyone talk about Moss? We all talked about Moss a lot when it came out, but like, it's been out and not a whole lot's happened since the Twilight Garden DLC. So
yeah, last we heard, we covered this a while, like middle of last year, I think. But the director from Polyphony Digital, wait, not Polyphony, what are they called? Polyarch. They did say that they were full production working on Moss Book 2, as well as working on, they had like maybe a couple people that were working on starting a new project. So they've actually got 2 games in the works, but last we heard from them, they were getting really close to Moss Book 2, it sounded like. But one thing I must stress is that it took a long time for them to get Book 1, and that was like 5 hours long. The wait for Moss Book 2 will be worth it. No, if we have to wait a little bit longer, it will 100% be worth it, because you'll get a longer, more full-length game, and I want that.
I'm curious to see what they do with it. I want to know if it's going to still be like the diorama page by page by page thing, or if there's going to be like areas that like, are scrolling, or if there's going to be like maybe even more dynamic things, like the camera comes down and you kind of follow like Astrobot, you follow her through the stage. It would be so cool if they kind of mixed things up a little bit, but still were able to keep the storybook motif. Because it was cool how they didn't sacrifice that for the first game. It's like you heard the page turning basically as every single scene faded out and came back in. You're like, oh, it's another page of a storybook. That's so cute. But it's like, I feel like you could still manage to do that with some more dynamic camera angles.
Yeah, they did say they were experimenting with this like more like 3-dimensional kind of exploration kind of deal, almost like like Zelda, like Ocarina of Time or something. But
like Marbles.
Or like marbles, sort of. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, that was good example. So we'll see what happens. But man, definitely one of my favorite games on PSVR. Period. So hell yeah,
Dave. We vamped for so long. If you did, if you don't.
Ready.
Okay, excellent.
I was talking to the guy from work. I had to explain some stuff.
How's the guy from work?
He's doing okay. John Patterson is doing. Oh well, I doxed him. There's probably 90 million John Pattersons in the world.
I didn't catch that address.
No, I didn't give you the address. I don't know what the address.
On your mark, get Dez. Go.
All right. So my should we is going to be another TV show. Every now and then I feel like watching a Ken Burns documentary. You guys ever seen a Ken Burns documentary?
Many.
And I'm learning a lot about the West. There's one called The West. And somebody was actually giving me a hard time about calling AJ an Indian on our Bullet Roulette stream. And I was like, I should know better because I've been watching The West by Ken Burns. Because it's actually really informative. Like, you learn about, like, you always think about growing up in school, like going to classes and stuff. They teach you Indians are like, they're all just Native Americans. They all kind of go how and make a teepee and stuff. They're so different. They were vastly different tribes, like all over the place, that all had totally unique cultures and histories and stuff like that. And it's cool to learn about like the nuances of the people who used to live here. That they're not just one big group of Indians. And there was a lot of cool stuff going on back then. So interesting show, and also good to fall asleep to. Pass right out. Ken Burns.
That's a should be.
Yeah, it's a should be. I like it.
So only one shouldn't we this week? Not too bad.
And only because I asked for one indirectly.
Right, and you didn't actually get one. I was jokingly pretending that you shouldn't play Moss, and you definitely should. All right.
It's like a little mouse dick. Is that what you always say, Brian? Isn't that what you always say?
Yep, pretty much. Moss can suck tiny little mouse dicks. Yeah. It feels so wrong to say. It feels so wrong to say. Like,
because it is wrong to say.
She's so
why'd you say it in the first place? Why'd you make it like a thing? It's like a catchphrase now.
I don't know. Let's pretend that all the offensive things I've said over the last 5 years just never happened. Otherwise, people will be trying to cancel Without Parole very soon. That's okay. Most people aren't paying attention when we talk, which is totally obvious.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna check the PlayStation Store again for this fucking Resident Evil demo because it's been busted for like this whole time.
Lots to talk about. I believe, AJ, what's our first, or how many news stories? What news story do you want to start with? I forget. What kind of show is this? What do we do? I forget.
We have 8 stories to talk about this week. We usually start with anything PS5 news related, and it's been a little quiet. Haven't heard a lot about PS5 yet. I'm really thinking maybe February we maybe get a state of play, something like that. Seems like we're long overdue. Seemed like ever since the PlayStation launch, they came out and they were like, "Thanks for your money," and then they just like disappeared. But no, I mean, I'm kidding, of course, because there's lots of things. But we're going to actually start with an interesting article that came up. I was made aware of this earlier today from PS5 Only, somebody I follow on Twitter who also follows me, and basically posted a pie chart from. Let me see if I can also get it to you over here. Unless you let's see, but a pie chart talking about that was taken, and it was from Bloomberg, and it was a note about the market share based on unit shipments in second quarter of 2020. So this is from the second quarter of 2020, and it basically says Facebook currently leads the VR headset market, followed by Sony. Facebook coming in at 38.7%, while Sony is at 21.9%. This, of course, is due to the success of the Oculus Quest. But I wanted to bring this up because I just wanted to make a point here that we've mentioned this before. Competition is good. If you want more headsets, more games, more VR competing against each other and growing, it needs competition. We also got word that Apple might be working on a new headset. I think I know the answer here, but are you guys surprised by this at all?
Not for this period of time. Like, the Quest 1 sold a lot less than the Quest 2 has been selling. And so when you compared that to PSVR, in the overall life cycle of the two, I think there are probably still more PSVRs out there in people's hands than there are Quest 2s, if that makes sense, because they've had a longer runtime to sell them at a consistent rate. Quest 2s sell really fast, but I don't think that there's probably 5 million of them out there yet. So it's weird to look at just a slice, because obviously Quest 2 is selling better than PSVR right now. It's a sundown product. It's going through the end of its life cycle. It's been around for 4 years already, so what do you expect? It's not going to lead the market in current sales.
What was the time period that this pie chart was taken from? Was this during the Quest 2 launch period?
Quarter 2, yeah.
Quarter 2, 2020, and I just actually emailed it to you if that helps.
Wait, didn't the Quest come out in like quarter 3 or 4 though? The Quest 2, because wasn't it like October, November, or something like that?
No, it's Facebook. This was before the Quest 2 even came out. This was just the Quest 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just the Quest 1. All right, interesting.
The margin, like the dip after Facebook and Sony, is far though. HTC 4.9%, DPVR. I don't know what that is. Pico and
Donkey
others, 16%. Donkey Punch VR.
Donkey Punch,
But yeah, Facebook 38.7%, Sony 21.9%. And again, if there are new headsets coming out and they are not beating Sony, I, in fact, would be really scared for VR as a whole. I would certainly hope that a newer product would be doing taking more of the market share. Otherwise, I'd be like, VR is in trouble.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, PSVR is so old. it's 4 years old. It's been outdated for a while, and I don't really have any opinions about the pie chart or about like what the sales are like. No VR headset is selling as well as I'd like it to. That's my real takeaway from it, is that for VR to really take off, it needs to have like mass adoption, and the gamers need to be buying more games for it. Like, it's just one of those things where it's we say it all the time, like we're not going to get AAA games until more headsets are sold, but we're not going to get more headsets sold until more AAA games come out. So we just really need to see more people interested in VR for all of this to kind of take off. I don't know. It's
so yeah.
Yeah.
Drew says, I think there aren't 5 million quests, but I think there are a lot of PSVRs not being played. And that's true sometimes. But if you're not playing Hitman, why the fuck did you buy a PSVR headset?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of it? It's like, it's so good. And it's 3 full games. We'll get to it later. But really, I have people on my stream asking me, hey, can you play this on an OG? Because I might buy a VR headset for this. How much does that cost? Like, people who aren't even usual viewers of the show just come through being like, wow, okay, I want to play this. What is the expenditure that I need to put in to get this thing? And so, like, if you got a PS4 already, like, I mean, you can get in for $200, $250, something like that. If you buy, refurbished one or something like that, it's really not that expensive to get in, and it just uses the DualShock, so anybody can play it.
This is true.
I think this is an exciting time for PSVR owners because I can't believe how well they pulled this thing off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we'll get more into that, I'm sure, shortly.
What I want to see, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this Apple thing does. I don't know what it's going to do, but I've always believed that we're right on the edge of VR really breaking through. There was like the Aaron Thornton, something like that, who worked on like what is it, the magic, the wizard thing, Waltz of the Wizard, and he was saying like he's wondering if it's still the topic of VR still being a niche thing, and I responded to him and I said, dude, we are like, it feels like we are right on the edge. I mean, we are definitely, I feel like we're out of the infant stage of VR because there's been more things that are starting to be standardized, like with the hardware, with the ecosystem, the games, stuff like that. But I think we just need one more headset to really push it forward. And it's going to continue to evolve. It's going to continue to get better. PlayStation itself, consoles, PC gaming is all still improving in several ways. But we just need those VR enthusiast developers, and then the budget of and game design of like PlayStation games. We need those to cross paths.
Yeah.
And once we get those AAA games that have these interactive features that all these VR developers are experimenting with, that's going to be where like VR really starts to get going. Now I already think it's going, but like even more so.
Yeah, I find it fascinating that PSVR like did as well as it did, or was capable of doing the stuff that it did. It launched with controllers that were not designed for VR. It launched on a console that was not VR ready or not designed for VR, and so we've got this headset that's like just kind of like shoehorned onto a console that's like slightly better on the Pro and slightly better on the PS5, but like it's sort of just been like being dragged along with each console. Like I want PlayStation VR 2 with controllers that are meant for VR, that have analog sticks. I want a headset that's that's super sleek and lightweight, and like it doesn't seem just like a box on your face. I want the resolution to be at a place where people aren't going to go, oh, it's blurry. And I want the console to be in a place where it can run these AAA full-fledged open world games, everything we want, and have it look as like as good resolution wise as it would on a flat screen, but you're inside of it. Like you were saying that like who was the quote that people like, we're at PSVR 1, people want it to be PSVR
9? Sean Layden said people want, right out the gate, people want PSVR or VR 5.0, just VR in general. I think he said VR 5.0, and it has to do 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 first. And you have to think about like with what they launched, there was no foundation. There was nothing there. Sony came out, made PlayStation VR, went out on a limb, invested lots of money into the technology, into the research. So you'd have to think that when they do this next one, if they are holding off for now or whatever they might be doing, it could be right around the corner. We've been seeing the patents that look more and more like it's getting closer and closer. You'd have to think that they don't want to make the same mistake again and launch something too soon, and then Apple comes out with something, Quest comes out with another thing, and then it's like all of a sudden PlayStation's back to being the dated VR device once again, right from the get-go again. So it makes sense to just hold off or at least be very confident, be very sure what they're making.
The Sean Layden quote though is like, but what I was trying to get to regarding that was that, like, I feel like we're the next step forward, like with decent controllers and a sleeker headset that's like more powerful. It's like that's got a higher resolution and powered by the PlayStation 5. Like that is the V5, right? Like I feel like if you're not into VR by the time PSVR comes out on PlayStation 5, by the time that has its own dedicated PSVR 2 headset, then you're not into VR, because PSVR 1 was already really fucking amazing, and people were like, oh, it's too blurry. Oh, the move controls, I can't figure out how to walk around. It's like, yeah, I get it, but look what it's doing. Look at the small things you have to learn to be immersed in this game. And if you okay, I maybe understand if you weren't able to take that leap with PSVR 1, but if you're not able to get there with PSVR 2 on PS5, then I don't think VR is for you. Right? Like, I don't want to hear anybody go, it's not there yet once that happens, because
there's different gaming styles too.
Sure.
Like, there's different types of gamers. Some people like just kind of sitting there and just running from one to start to finish, and some people like myself like a really tough challenge and stuff. But the thing is, you don't want to fight you don't want to fight the hardware trying to enjoy the game though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is when the technology catches up, the hardware catches up next gen or later this gen. Like I'm like, if anybody, even my dad's one of the people who said, I don't think VR is there yet. Well, you know what? If this doesn't work for you, then VR is just not for you. Like, then you don't want to be inside of a game, because we're already so close, and we're going to talk about that during Hitman as well. We're so close that like one small step forward is definitely going to get us there.
I've always loved being a part of the beginning of VR and PSVR, because it is like, remember how we used to say it was like the Wild West, and there was no rules, and like you never know what to expect to get. It's been a lot of fun being with that beginning.
So
just
to float an idea here real quick, and Brian, it's up to you. What I was thinking was, I got the Resident Evil demo installed now. It's booting up. I was thinking you could just throw it in the corner, and I can do an unlisted stream that I could post, and you could just have it in the corner, what it looks like while we're talking about other stuff.
Yes.
But we don't have to do that. Okay, cool. I will send you the link in just a second.
Yep. It's going to be the Brian and AJ show, and then Dave's focus is going to be on playing this game that we're going to stream in the corner.
No, just for a little bit.
Also, I didn't know what video to play, so I just played Angel Crypt.
There you go. Angel Crypt is always a good one.
Should we just listen to Angel Crypt for the next how long?
Yeah, why not?
Let's hear the Angel Crypt for you. Nice. So much better than watching the show.
I can't hear anything, but I'm gonna headbang.
Yeah, no, I turned it back down. Okay. All right, so that was we just talked a long time about actually nothing. There was no news story there. We just talked a long time about no news story.
Well, I'm just glad to see that there is growth, that there is competition. I'd love to see, really what I'd like to see is Microsoft get in the game and make something. That's what I'd really like to see. So, all right. So, moving on to the next story, we actually had Resident Evil Showcase today, where we actually just covered, and it just ended. And we went into it not expecting VR to be announced, but we were hoping for a PS4 version to be shown. I'll admit, seeing the PS4 version, now I'm like, where's the VR version? Like, if it can run on PS4, to me, I'm definitely like, okay, if there's a PS4 version, there has to be a VR version now. Actually, Dave is getting the demo set up. It just went live, and you can check it out.
I'm putting it up on the screen here.
Most leaks, Aesthetic Gamer, a bunch of sources have said that they did have another exclusive contract with it, but yeah, we don't know where it is. It's MIA. We didn't get necessarily the news, and I'm curious to see some of your guys' thoughts. Really, since you seem like you're setting up just a couple more things. You know, I don't want to give anybody false hopes. So, like, really, I think the best thing is just to just hold on and see what happens. I actually just posted on Twitter an angry tweet at Herman Holst and Sony, and I'm like, look, I don't care if it's PSVR on PS4 or if it's PSVR 2. But I need to play this. I need to continue this game, the sequel to this game that I played in VR. That's how I want to experience it. I'm not probably very interested without VR, to be honest with you. But, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm definitely feeling like if I were Sony and if I had another headset in the works, I think Resident Evil 8 would be a good selling point on a second headset, along with like Gran Turismo 7 and stuff, other PS5 games that were eligible for this. But
yeah, what's
I've delayed.
I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do in this game. They want me to crouch. Okay.
I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do in this game.
He's got some gameplay going on the bottom right now.
I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do in this game.
Oh, why is the
They
audio
want me to
coming through?
crouch.
That's
Okay.
I stalled as long as I can.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
You need me to stall some more?
Well, you know, I'm bringing the game.
Oh, why is the audio coming through? That's not good.
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
mute my...
Some of the cats, let me see what the cat's saying. Some of them are saying possibly both PSVR headsets now. Cyber Comedy Jam with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Says, I just got Hitman VR and I keep seeing a grid box when I was playing. Do y'all know how to fix it? Yes. Put the camera under your TV, facing straight at you, and sit about 5 feet back. That is how you fix the grid thing. It is not meant to be sitting down or whatever and having the camera from a far distance. So that's why you're seeing that grid.
Slowly getting this thing looking like it should. I think I finally got it. There we go. Now we can see Dave playing. I don't know where the sound is coming from, but that's okay. It's not crazy loud or anything. So at least we can kind of hear him, and we can talk over it. And if shit started
I
hitting,
muted it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're playing it now?
He's playing it. I don't know, but I'd love to know where the sound is actually coming from on my.
So I'm this little fucking.
So Brian,
Yeah.
give me your thoughts on today's showcase. What do you think's going down? What do you think's happening?
I want to back up a couple days. I want to back up a couple days to like the when Brian Paul and everybody else was like, they're not going to announce PlayStation VR support during this thing. You know, I want to back up to that time period when we were all being really rational and like thinking this through. And then like somehow today and yesterday was like, I think they're going to announce PSVR support, especially, and then we get it in our heads that if they announce a PlayStation 4 version, it's got to have PSVR support. And honestly, I just think I personally think that deals were made for PSVR 2, a PSVR 2 version of this, and it's kind of pointless to be doing this cross headset, to be saying, oh, we're going to not. I can only imagine how much money Sony is paying Capcom to make a VR version of Resident Evil Village, right? I can only imagine if Resident Evil 7 was $5 million, I can only imagine it's another $5 million minimum to be doing this.
Right.
And so, and who knows if the team is bigger or whatever, they ran into more complications and $5 million wasn't actually enough the first time around. They might have had to renegotiate. I mean, like, we need more money, right? So I don't see Sony going, okay, here's $5 million for PSVR 1 and $5 million for PSVR 2. Why wouldn't they just make a huge splash and make PSVR 2 really, really special and say, here's this amazing, PlayStation 5 game, and here is the way to play it in VR, possibly even exclusively.
It would definitely, to me, it would definitely be an enticing sell for the second headset, Resident Evil 8. But that being said, like I said, I would still be down for this version since it's already got PS4 support. And I just posted, or actually, I was gonna post a link to that survey for anybody who wants to, be vocal. This is you got to be vocal these days on the internets.
I filled out the form on every single time they let me type something. I was like, PSVR support, please.
Yeah.
Do you have any additional comments? I was like, yes, I would love PSVR support.
Yep. I basically just spammed it.
Yeah. The fact is that this was a 15-minute presentation. I actually thought it was really well done. I thought it was a great presentation. We now know that the game is coming May 7th. We know that this demo is now available on PlayStation 5, which I honestly want to go play right now instead of GAMESCAST.
It's kind of hard because it's puzzly, and I'm trying to pay attention to you guys and what I'm supposed to do in this thing.
Don't worry, Dave. We got the show under control.
I don't want to knock this reverse thing, but really like a multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
Does anybody really care about that? Like I mean, I know we're not going to care about it over VR, but I mean, it's like,
why do they keep trying to push multiplayer Resident Evil on us? Like, they keep trying over and over and over.
Like, they tried that with Resistance, right?
In Operation Raccoon City. Dude, I mean, going back as far as going back as far as PlayStation 2, they were like, let's do an online Resident Evil Outbreak, File 1 and 2, and then on PlayStation 3, they moved on to RE5, which had. RE5 was multiplayer, right? And then and felt really strange. I don't understand why they keep trying to push multiplayer into Resident Evil. And so they were like, oh, well, people don't want it in the core game, so let's make these little side shoot games that no one is asking for. And it doesn't look good. I think the cell shaded look kind of just makes it look cheap. I love cell shading when it's done really well, but this just made me go, ugh.
If there's one person, I'm seeing everybody saying no. If there's one person out there that actually thinks that looks interesting, let me know, and I'll leave it alone. But the Drunk Gamer says Sony is known for putting out awesome little titles late into a console cycle, and I don't see why it wouldn't be any different for PSVR headset. Yeah. I think PSVR will get RE8 VR on PS4 as well as PS5.
Yeah, I do think we're in a slightly different position here with PSVR 2 versus PSVR 1. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of titles from Sony because I don't think at a certain point they're not recouping their losses. The great thing about releasing amazing games like The Last of Us at the very end of the PlayStation 3 life cycle was that there were more PlayStation 3s out there then than ever before, and everybody was still playing them. And so that sold like crazy. I don't, as we already said previously, who was it? Delirium Drew in the chat was saying, he says like, yeah, there's a lot of PSVRs out there, but not a lot of people are playing them. And so I don't think if you put a game out like, if you put an awesome game out on PSVR 1 at the end of its life cycle, that people are going to buy it. That's going to be like a crazy, amazing seller, like The Last of Us. Proportionately, if you throw like the number of consoles into, you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say it should sell Last of Us numbers, but I think they would have way better luck putting all of their money into PSVR 2 launch games and early PSVR 2 games, and saying, hey, you know what? PSVR 1 only sold 5 million units total over the course of its lifespan. It's maybe time to put that to bed and not focus on it like they're so good at doing with consoles after the new consoles come out. I think they want to focus on the new headset because they have a chance to really rope in way, way, way more people. I really think that they're going to hit 20 million with PSVR 2 in the same amount of time they hit 5 million with PSVR 1.
Silent Evil 99 also has a good point. He says, I think Sony's got to bring down the price of the PSVR 1 headset. I kind of agree there. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised because every single console eventually goes down in price. I'm kind of surprised that maybe because it is a limited hardware, it's not a mass, like, There's not like excess supply that they're trying to get rid of. But just to be competitive, I'm used to seeing Sony a little bit more fluid and kind of like doing certain things that are just a little bit more, yeah, like I said, like fluid and adaptive to the competition and other different things. And yeah, I don't know.
I think they're going to be able to get the price of PSVR 2 down faster than they could with PSVR 1. You know, I do, and again, it has to do with the number that you're producing, the number that you're selling. And man, it's like they could never get the price of these old 7-year-old antiquated Move controllers down, right? It was like for a pair, it was still $100, and these things don't even have an analog stick on them. We've been using these same fucking controllers since the Move days on PlayStation 3. Like, I feel like maybe like PSVR 2 is going to be. I don't think it's going to be terribly expensive at launch. We've talked about this before on Viewer Takeover and what we think the future of PSVR 2 is going to be, and I really do think that they're basically just going to be making like a pretty high resolution headset that catches us up to PC VR gaming with some, you know, nice quality controllers, analog sticks, just get us up to speed. And then the PlayStation 5, the power of that console, will take care of the rest. Like, we'll have these amazing visuals that are being pumped from the console itself. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a super expensive headset. I would love to see 400 or under that includes the 2 controllers. Because right now it's like that's pretty much what you're paying for a PSVR headset and 2 Move controllers, right? I guess there's been some bundles that's closer to 300 with the Moves, which would be, you know, don't get me wrong, amazing.
I know, especially for all the youngsters out there, the price has been the toughest part for most of them. I think that's been the main thing that has been preventing people, the younger generation, from buying VRs. Some, you know, some still got there, but I'm saying like the majority that we are missing.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, I love Quest. And I think the price point is one of the many things that's really helping it sell. So you know, I don't know if Sony sees Quest as competition. I've said before that PSVR 2 and Quest are going to be in wildly different boats as far as you know, as far as what kind of games we're going to see on them. And so I don't know if Sony sees like kind of like this mobile wireless headset as competition.
Well, it's certainly not as much competition as Nintendo Switch or Xbox. That's for sure. Quest.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Okay. No, I'm following now. All right. So, I mean, yeah, we've gone round and round and round about on this topic for months now, like many months.
This is the time to be discussing these things, because right now is the fun. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but this is the time where we're waiting. You know, it's 2021, and you know, regardless of whether or not a headset comes out this year or next or whenever, this is where we begin talking about that. It's a weird time right now. I'm personally like, this is new to me too, because we're in this transitional phase. Still getting people over to PS5, still, you know, things are still getting developed, and it's just a weird time and a lot of unknowns for me personally. And I feel like this is a good time to be talking about the stuff that I've been kind of trying to hold back for the last like year or two, except for the little snippets that Sony has been giving us about what their plans for VR.
Yeah. Lots of speculation on our part. We've got lots of information that we derive our speculation from, but yeah, man, I'm just really, really hoping that that we see it this year, and I really hope that in the next few months we get an announcement, and knowing that, dude, May 7th for Resident Evil Village, absolutely crazy. It's like right around the corner. What does this say to you as far as PSVR is concerned? Do you think that this release date for Resident Evil Village has anything to do or influences at all the PSVR 2 release date?
Do I think it's going to affect it all?
Yeah, I mean, like there was a part of me that was like, man, if this release date comes out for Village and it's anywhere past July or August, I'm like, that could totally coincide with a PSVR 2 headset. But seeing how it's like 4 months away?
Yeah, I don't know. If there was one thing you could ask me, and I would say I don't know, is when. I 110% believe PSVR 2 is happening. I believe it's even maybe getting close to finished or something. But when, I have no idea. Back in like October or back in the fall, the last people I talked to said like, they want PS5 out first, that the parts are too expensive right now. Things are going to start changing pretty soon, and that's why I feel like anything can happen. I don't know. I definitely feel like if there is more competition brewing right now, and there's people going to be releasing headsets this fall or something, that would, to me, be a good reason for Sony to be like, don't want to fall too behind and get our headset out and compete with this Apple One, with this potential new PC headset, with a new Quest or whatever. They typically like to drop them around the same time, just like they do with Xbox and stuff. But I have no idea. When? No idea.
No idea. I'm still saying fall 2021. And I don't mind losing pizza bets to remain optimistic until someone proves me wrong, until Sony comes out and says, Brian, you're way off. Then I am going to remain optimistic and keep all those pizza bets in line. I want to check in with Dave, man. Let's check in with Dave and find out what's. We've been kind of watching this in the background. How's it going for you?
I don't know what I'm doing other than looking for stuff. It looks really nice, though. I mean, like the engine is great on PS5. The level of detail and the lighting and everything is just really, really good. I have HDR mode on. I don't know if that comes through on YouTube or not, but it looks really, really nice. There's been some creaking and stuff. Like I'll open things and then some rumbling from somewhere else in the house. But I haven't seen any monsters yet. Although I did see a figure move through a door. The jump scares have been mostly like stuff falling over. Like some shovels fell over in front of me or something. That was it.
Some teasers.
Yeah, just a little bit of spooky sounds, stuff falling over. But I've got to find. It looks like the key to get out of this place. I'm looking out the window, and I don't think they want me to leave. So I'm not sure what's going on here. But I might actually stop playing and get back onto the show because I don't want to just wander around in the Stark house looking for a key for 20 minutes. Instead of being on the show. So.
Right. And
but it's out there, guys. It's cool. Go check it out after the show.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
It looks really nice.
I'm definitely going to download it. Maybe I'll download it during the show and then play it afterwards.
That's a good way to do things.
I would say so. All right, guys. It's probably time to move on to our next topic.
All right. So, if any of you guys are bummed out about earlier, first of all, don't be. We got a lot to find out still, but I have some amazing news. No Man's Sky and Hello Games have released some of their experimental branch patch notes. These are usually the things that they're testing out before they officially get released. And this is huge. Jack Thompson, shout out to you out there. Thank you, my dude. Made me aware of this, which was a tweet from Procedural Traveler, who anybody doesn't know, is a really dedicated No Man's Sky player, and to the point to where he made news articles, news content on YouTube about No Man's Sky winning awards from the PSVR Without Parole 2019 award show. He actually made. Yeah, he made like articles on us saying like, oh, they won an award from these guys. But the fantastic news comes like this, where in the patch notes, they say resolution and performance for PSVR have been significantly improved when running on a PS5. Loading times on PS5 have been improved, and the PS5 install size, that doesn't matter.
But matters some. I mean, it's all good stuff.
Load times. Mainly, guys, do you think this is the one? Do you think they finally have done it? Do you think after a year and a half of us never giving up and resiliently, just continuing to ask for a resolution patch, do you think this is finally the patch we've been waiting for?
Absolutely, 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, they said specifically almost that they unlocked the resolution and frame rate, right? Or like I think in the patch notes it says something about unlocked resolution, or that came up, and it's like, yeah, it's
I think they said
way
significantly
better.
improved resolution, and so that's
Oh,
what
okay.
I'm glad you said that, because that's actually what I'm curious about. How did they make this happen on PlayStation 5? We heard from the DWVR developers that Sony does want developers to take advantage of the PlayStation 5 and not just do these kind of like minuscule upgrades and resolution unlocks. They actually want developers to do these big PS5 upgrades, which was the first and only time we've ever heard that. So I'm curious to know, is this just unlocking the resolution on the PlayStation 4 version so that PlayStation 5 gamers can take advantage of that in VR, or is this some kind of big PS5 patch that's actually different than other things we've seen?
I think it's a PS5 patch. I think it would have to be. And the difference between something like No Man's Sky and Blood and Truth, Blood and Truth got a patch, but it looked so good already, it wasn't very noticeable. No Man's Sky will be noticeable. And I always said that I gave No Man's Sky until summer of last year. I said if we don't have a pro patch by summer, like Plo is pointing out, then it's going to be on the PS5. It's going to be a PS5 patch. And like you said, we got the confirmation from the DWVR dev saying there are PS5 patches that can be applied. It can't take advantage of the full hardware just yet. There have been rumors about things maybe unlocking at the end of this year that they're still getting into and opening up, but this would be huge, man. This would be so huge. I love this game as is. It is blurry, but with the with all the Origins updates and everything, it's had so much more detail, and really it's been really enjoyable even to look at in many cases. But like a much clearer resolution, holy crap. This was one of my favorite games before VR happened, and this is a dream come true for me if this is the one.
Yeah, I'll finally review this game on Without Parole, because I felt like when it first came out, I was like, oh, we all thought that there was a pro patch right around the corner. Kept waiting, didn't happen. But then they kept updating with this update and this update and that update. The Origins, the what was the Desolation?
Oh, the spooky one, yeah.
Yeah, which is my favorite one because Jesus.
I really like that one too. Alien, yeah, it's just Alien.
Yeah, and so now, like, I think this is the time. Like, it was so hard to be like, this game is fantastic. It's got this and this and this and this and this and this, and then at the end be like, but it's really blurry, and it's like it's going to do a number on your eyes, and you're going to be really, really tired after playing it. Because my eyes are totally trying to focus the whole time, and I find myself squinting in games. Even Swords of Gargantua, we're all the way across one of the arenas, and I couldn't tell which floor was which because it says 432, 433, and I find myself squinting, but I'm like, it's not my eyes, it's the game. And so I find myself squinting a lot in VR games that have some extra blur to them, and there's just no avoiding the blur in No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
I would like
Firebird, old school. Sorry, real quick. Yeah. Has a tip coming in. 100 Sekiros. He says Sekiro's heading your way. Cheers from an early Friday morning.
Early Friday morning.
Yeah, he's already in the future.
Nice.
One day closer to the weekend.
What's the weather like?
Where?
In the future.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I want to know.
So the other good news regarding this patch is that this experimental stuff that usually comes out, I've seen happen within like days, within a week. I don't think it's ever been more than like a week or two at most. I'm honestly kind of glad it didn't happen right away because I want to be focused on Hitman, because that's a lot of game. But I really this honestly, it doesn't matter. This can't come soon enough. And I really think if this does the trick, I think this will really reinvigorate like the VR base, because I think tons of people were excited about this and they had the trailers and everything, and I think a bunch of people jumped in and they were like, ugh. And I think that lost a lot of people. I think this is the one thing holding this game back. And we had so many AAA devs that bring these amazing looking games, but then have like bad implementation or something. And No Man's Sky really nailed the implementation. They just didn't nail the graphics and stuff as well as it should have.
Nice. I'm so sad to hear that the future has snow because I've already got snow, and I was hoping tomorrow that snow would be gone. But thank you for the weather update, Firebird Old School. Yeah, I just found out I get to sleep in tomorrow. I was supposed to go see my parents, and it turns out I'm not going to see my parents tomorrow. I get to sleep in. Yes. Yeah, dude, this is so great. I mean, this is what a great week, man. What a great week this has been. Finding out this is going to happen. I need to see it myself. I'm looking up the ceiling. This
is there something up there?
This is my reflective look.
I'm looking up. You like one of those alien trackers.
I'll tell you. Sometimes Tornado looks over somewhere where there's nothing happening. She's like, and I'm like,
yeah,
nothing that you can see.
Right.
She's warding off the demon. She's fighting a battle. Like,
you guys know my apartment's haunted, and so she's seeing the ghost, and I was like, where is he?
I don't believe in ghosts. Sorry.
But
Cats do,
and
they don't care.
Never lived in my apartment.
No,
you've never lived in my apartment. My apartment's
I
haunted as
fell
fuck.
I fell asleep for like 5 minutes.
Dude,
it was fine.
No place has ever been haunted with more than one or two people in it. There were three of us in there, and we had cameras rolling.
I did not get any spooky vibes from your house. I'm sorry, dude. I live in the woods. There's
you didn't
like
get spooky vibes from my house.
The bathroom was a little spooky.
I mean, the bathroom was really spooky, man. It was like pretty gross. Yeah.
When you tried to get me to use your nasal spray, that was about the scariest part.
Right, that actually did happen. He's not just making up stories.
Can you imagine in the time of COVID offering someone to use your nasal?
Right. This was 2019, right? October 2019.
This is October 2019.
Before the plague.
Yeah, just trying to put it out there for everyone. During the first and only at this point official GameCat meetup that wasn't virtual.
Yeah.
Yep. Scott, yellow wears earrings, or yellow.
I thought this was
earrings.
Dude, we just talk about games here.
Yeah, that's what a GamesCast is. If you ever see something that says that's got a thumbnail that says "Without Parole Plays," it is actually us playing video games.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is our weekly podcast.
If you'd like to watch someone play it, all three of us have videos that you could watch those also.
Yeah, we've got hours and hours and hours of Hitman 3 live streams.
I think I streamed like 6 or 7. I think I streamed 6 or 7 hours yesterday of
Dude,
Hitman.
You had a drunk live stream like at 4 a.m. What time was that?
No, it wasn't at 4 a.m.
I think you finished.
Maybe it ended. It might have ended at 4 a.m. Probably. Yeah.
Robbie B, the English Game Cat, very prim, proper, and posh, with the 2 quid donation saying Resident Evil 8 demo, very nice showcase, great visuals.
Yeah. It's pretty looking.
I love the art style. It looks so much like obviously it is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, but that art style looks so good. And Resident Evil 7 so swampy and dirty and gross.
Love it.
And this has more of like a, I don't
Resident
know.
Evil 4 look.
yeah. But it looks so cool. All the characters look great.
Yeah. Very excited. All right. So,
but yeah, man. I expect this to be within the next week, I'd say. Sweet. I'd say within a week or two.
That was the question I was about to ask you.
Yeah. And it's going to be glorious.
I guess Triangle was watching. He said, yeah, it ended at 4 a.m.
Ended at 4 a.m., yeah.
Nice.
And Jay was watching, and he said, I was hilarious. Thank you very much.
Nice. I watched the very beginning of it, not live. I didn't realize until like 8 or 9 this morning that you had done it when David Moore clued me in. And I watched the beginning, and you were talking about a meat something.
Oh, I got a bone with meat on it that you can use to whack people with. It's really fun.
And so, and I think you were calling it a meat stick or something. And so I
slapping people with my meat stick.
I fast forwarded about an hour and a half into the stream to see like maybe a different location. And you guys were still talking about meat sticks. And I was like, this was apparently the running joke for the entire...
It's not 4 hours of meat sticks. It's just,
That's awesome. Oh, Geisen says you fell off your couch last night.
No, did I? I'll have to go back and watch it. I don't remember that.
I know every drunk stream, Dave spills something. It's great.
It's funny,
there's always one point in the stream where he knocks over a beer or something.
My friend was over and he spilled a beer. And then he wasn't cleaning it up. And I was like, I'm in VR streaming, motherfucker. You clean that up.
Your friend.
He's my friend.
I get you.
Oh, it's just
This
yellow.
is like the only person I
earrings.
hang out with in real life.
Okay.
All
right, what's our next news story, guys? Let's move along here.
All right, yeah, because we need to get to Hitman and
That's right.
all this other stuff. But before then, we still got some interesting things going on, such as Pixel Ripped is finally getting its Perp Games release.
It's about time.
Perp Games says announcement. Pixel Ripped is coming soon. The release date will be announced in the 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. However, you'll have to be quick though, as it's a very limited edition with only 1,500 units ever made, and it is a Pixel Ripped 1989. Ooh, I want this one.
Wait, I'm so confused. This isn't the thing that they already sold us, and we purchased like 6 months ago, and we've been waiting for it to be delivered. This is a new thing.
Wasn't that 95?
I don't know. Fucking know. I thought it was 89.
It comes with physical boxed edition of Pixel Rip 1989, limited edition retro pink cassette USB packed full of digital goodies such as digital soundtrack, wallpaper, and exclusive art. I do want the Pixel Rip 1989 soundtrack. That's a badass soundtrack. Limited edition set of 3 poster cards signed by Ana Ribeiro herself.
Nice. I already purchased this when they first announced it. And they've been sending emails every month or so saying, sorry, it's still not out. It's like, this has been super, super delayed. And at this point, I don't even buy physical PSVR games anymore. Like I've been actually gathering them up to sell them all on eBay as part of like my huge PlayStation sale or video game sale.
I thought PlayStation was the one you were keeping all your stuff, and you were selling the other consoles.
But that is true, but PS4 I went crazy on with like limited run games and even perk games and all sorts of stuff that I really just don't need. And so like there's a bunch of those, like hundreds of PS4 games that I'm selling on eBay, and including PSVR games, which is I thought I was going to keep every single physical PSVR game, and I am not. And so when this shows up in the mail, I'm going to go, I wanted this literally 6 months ago, and now I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue when my Space Channel 5 Special Edition is fucking shipping out. I ordered that like 5 months ago.
What was that, limited run games?
Limited run, and like the only reason I bought it was for this dumb little
microphone
thing you can put on your Move control. It's not even a microphone; it's a foam ring that you attach to a Move controller that probably cost them 3 cents to produce.
Right,
and it's just like, but I thought it'd be fun for the show. I don't know how I'm going to use it. We've retired Tree Guy, which was he was the main reason I bought that thing. Yeah. And good night, sweet Tree Guy.
Hey, he had a great run, man.
I miss him.
Tree Guy had a great run. He was very disrespectful, though. We couldn't keep him around.
Fuck you. Every time somebody tipped.
Yeah. AJ, what's our next news story, man?
Our next news story is FitXR gave us a little update, and we've got something cool that we're going to probably announce here. And that is, let me find that tweet from them. You all saw it from my Twitter, not Brian's Twitter. You saw it from mine.
Pretty sure I tweeted that first, yeah.
Don't lie. And they say, we have a functional PSVR build. We're currently working on performance issues, but we promise the PSVR update is coming soon. Once the performance issues have been fixed, we will be adding some features before we get the build approved by the Sony PlayStation team. Now, for those who don't know, FitXR is the name for BoxVR that they're basically transitioning to. And the cool thing here is that one of our mods, Rypop, Johnny Rypop the Stray Cat, is going to be arranging in our Discord. Make sure you join our Discord. Links in the description. We're going to be doing a maybe 2-3 times a week, maybe more. We're going to be doing fitness sessions because they're going to be adding 16-person multiplayer in this. So anybody looking to lose a little weight, get a little FitXR VR size, whatever it's exercise in VR, then you'll be able to join along with us and do some exercise with us and with VR games. How cool is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love this idea of people getting together like for an exercise class, like everybody in all at the same time. It's a really cool idea. Hey, we got 3 tree guys coming.
Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
There we go. That one's for Bit Jello Boy, that Jiggly Jammer Cat. Jamercat. I'm gonna say it like GIF. Everybody give him a little jiggle. This is Treeland. Much love and meows, you guys. Thank you, Jello Boy. And then we got one from David Moore.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Get out of here!
That's for you, David Moore. $4.99 says do it. And then Jay Meow with a third tip. This is the last Tree Guy tip for the night, guys. $1.99 says for Tree Guy.
Fuck you! This is my tree world! This is my
All right.
People
All right,
miss
Rover,
Tree Guy,
Red
huh?
Rover gets one. I'll throw one extra one.
There we go.
Don't tweet me! Who are you? Fuck you! What are you tweeting me for?
So
Okay, that's for Red Rover the F and Gamecat. $5 says Tree Guy me.
So David Moore said, "Do it." Jay Meow said, "For Tree Guy," and Red Rover said, "Tree Guy me. Effin' F this effin' tip. Get out of my effin' F."
That's pretty accurate.
Pretty
Excellent.
accurate. That's good stuff.
All right. Well, good to see him again. See you later.
But yeah, what do you guys think of these? What do you think of these GameCat FitXR sessions? You guys in on it?
It's a good idea.
You
Yeah,
be
like
getting
it.
some exercise with us?
Dave's like, "It's a good idea." The question was, Dave, are you joining us?
Am I gonna do it? Well, my shoulder still hurts. Can I use that excuse?
No. Yeah, don't do
Damn
it.
it.
Don't, no. I mean, yes, you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I'm
My back hurts too. Actually,
everything hurts. That's my.
it's all connected.
Back is okay.
Like,
it might actually fix your back,
The
but not your
spone's
shoulder.
connected to the
It's not going to
backbone.
fix your shoulder.
Yeah. I'm definitely in. But as I was telling AJ earlier today, I'm really bad at doing things once a week, like if I or twice a week or 4 times a week. If I do something, I have to do it every day. Otherwise, I just fall out of the routine immediately. And so, like, if we're gonna do like an everyday box VR thing, and people can kind of, figure out which days the schedule works best for them, like I might be there every single day. I'll half hour a day, boom, let's do it. Because I've been paying for a gym membership that I haven't been using for the last year. I haven't gone
I
once
thought
since,
about getting a gym membership, and then COVID happened. I'm like, I'm not going to the fucking gym. No way.
right?
Why would I do that? Am
Seriously.
I crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the treadmill. I was a big fan of treadmill because I don't like really
Yeah.
running outside, and I like
I'm an
going.
elliptical guy. Elliptical is way better
Elliptical's good.
than the treadmill.
Yeah.
I love the elliptical. If I had room in my house, I'd just buy a fucking elliptical, but I don't.
For sure. I think we need to break out Tree Guy one more time for Delirium Drew with the $3 donation,
okay.
saying,
Where'd I put him?
I think
Everybody can tweet me!
AJ,
Yeah.
I think you need to read Drew's tip because I think you need to read it in your soccer announcer voice.
Oh yeah.
Tree Guy. I don't know.
Tree guy.
Shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation saying there should be a VR Olympics of multiplayer VR workout games, Sprint Vector, Creed, etc. PSVR without
We could have
Parole,
like
fire.
triathlon. We could have like a triathlon. Like you start out in one,
Shout out to
then
cousin
you go to
Mac.
the next one. Start out in Sprint Vector, then you go to Spark, and then you go to Creed.
Well, I think our tournaments are starting to ramp back up again, so keep an eye out for those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
But
win
I just
gold
like the
medals in
idea of
sport,
doing,
that'd be great, yeah.
turning fitness into a social thing, like going to the gym. It used to always, or like running. It was always a lot easier when you have a friend to push you to do it, and we will push each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Do it.
Yeah.
All
Gotta
right.
get Robbie
so-
Escombe in there. He's playing that game all the time. Every morning he streams
What?
Box VR,
Really?
or like not every morning, but I've seen him on Facebook streaming Box VR like a bunch of
I had
times.
no idea he did that.
Yeah, he does.
Excellent.
All right. So moving on, speaking of rhythm games and apps, Beat Saber earlier this morning posted, we have some, they said in a few hours, we will be sharing some news for PSVR players regarding the stage of multiplayer development. And they said just a little bit later, dear PSVR players, we're now finalizing the multiplayer build and we should be ready for testing next week. This is an important milestone in the development, and we will keep you updated. We are getting closer.
God damn it. Why isn't it out yet? No. They said months ago, they were like, yeah, if everything goes well, it should be January. And I was like, well, nothing ever goes well. Like something always happens, especially with them and PSVR. Like the DLC never hits at the right time, or it's like a day late, or there's always some like weird glitch or bug that like needs to be patched. So, am I surprised that like it doesn't seem like they're gonna quite hit the January target? Not really, but it's just disappointing that it didn't launch alongside of the Oculus version because this has been out for months now. Months.
right, what do we got next?
I don't remember when that was. So,
Months.
Boogeyman Productions in the chat says, just finished the maiden demo, Resident Evil 7, or 8, sorry, Resident Evil Village. It's the best graphics I have ever seen. It is out of this world.
Oh,
it does
wow.
look really nice, guys. It's very good on PS5. All the reflections off the little like gold trim and everything. It's pretty goddamn gorgeous.
Sweet. I'm excited to
check it out afterwards.
To download that. Was there any interesting things happening with the DualSense?
Nothing really. I didn't notice much. I mean, I wasn't super like keyed into the game because I was trying to pay attention to two things at once. But I didn't notice much of anything. It does say that it has DualSense, or not DualSense, Tempest 3D audio. So I'm going to go back and play it with my Pulse headset.
Nice.
That a GameCat who shall not be named was nice enough to gift me. Very cool. Thank you for that. And yeah, I'm going to try the 3D audio out. I'll replay it like that. See if there's anything major there with the Tempest going on.
I love GameCats who shall not be named. They're always so nice.
Yes, they're the best.
Yeah, for real. All right, very cool, very cool. So, I mean, Beat Saber multiplayer, we know it's not like a full-featured crazy thing, but I mean, like, you know, as a free addition to Beat Saber, like, awesome, and it's a great starting place for multiplayer. I feel like
it's really fun, and if you get in a party chat and stuff with people, there's no voice chat, obviously, but if you hop in a party chat with some friends, it could be a good time. Everybody gets to vote on the songs and stuff. It's cool. I like it.
Nice.
I love the way Beat Saber feels with the Move controllers. It feels awesome. Feels like you're holding lightsabers.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for the news. Kind of a slow news week, but very significant news, I would say. Even though there's not like quantity, there was definitely some quality stuff in there. But there were 2 releases this week. We're going to get into Hitman, but first, let's touch base and talk about Bullet Roulette.
I'm glad we have our priorities set, man.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to talk about Hitman, but we know what the cats really want to hear about. The cats really want to hear about Bullet Roulette.
Yeah, I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah, I was excited about this game, like leading up to it, and like, and by excited I meant it just looks like it's goofy fun. And man, if you don't like violence or the idea, like there's like a suicide warning at the beginning of this game. It says, you know, like if this is something that's sensitive to you, or like you're suffering from depression or have suicidal thoughts, like please contact blah 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 blah. And before we get into this, like I'm gonna make a lot of jokes about suicide, which are very inappropriate, and about pointing guns at your friends and yourself. And I know that people have dealt with loss and suicide and all this stuff, and so it's like keep that in mind.
It's not usually a laughing matter.
It's not, but like this game makes it fun and makes something that's super serious into something that's like ridiculously fun. So keep that in mind for this discussion, and if you're interested in playing the game. And with that serious note out of the way, I think the 3 of us laughed really fucking hard while we played
that was a lot of fun. And also, I guess Ryan exists as well. He might have laughed a little bit too.
Ryan also
from
exists.
VR Grid.
That's true.
Yeah, he was there for a little bit.
Ryan was an unwilling participant in my review.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. There's something simple about it, but the mechanic works. It's just Russian roulette with cards involved, essentially, and you can get extra lives. You can do the Uno reverse thing. You can skip. Like it's kind of like Uno with Russian roulette half the time.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun because you start getting these feelings like, okay, we've shot how many bullets so far? I think Brian's about to shoot himself. And I'll be like, oh, come on. And then he does. And I'm like, yes, fuck you. You're dead. And so there's a lot of just that. Just be like, fuck you, you loser. You shot yourself. That's like the whole game. It's a lot of fun, though. We had a great time with it.
I'll admit, when I first saw people playing this previewing it on PC a long time ago, like years ago, I think, I thought it looked really boring. I was like, I just don't see any appeal. And this, I think what works about it for me is the social aspect of it. I think it works well in the way that it's you and 3 other people just kind of sitting around a circle talking, and you're doing an activity. And I don't even think it's the best at what it does, but I think it's solid. And any time where there's a good VR game to socialize, to sit with a group of cats, and just something to do, to hang out and talk with each other, because we have an awesome community. I think that makes this game work. it does have a little bit of an issue where you jump in. If you're playing with randoms, you can't hear them, and I think that's a major issue. But usually in our community, multiplayer games do really well.
That is a huge oversight on their part, though. Like the fact that there is no built-in voice chat. Like, it's crazy to me that there's not built-in voice chat. I know it's a cheap game, but I've heard on PC there is built-in voice chat. Ryan from VR Grid confirmed that for us because he's played it already, and that's such a bummer. You know, like if you could play with randoms, it could be fun. You know, it might be a fun time. Yeah. But there's no good reason to do it because everyone's silent, and this game is all about the shit talking and the chatter and it's not really, it's like any good card game or board game. It's like the fun you have is based around the people you bring into it with you. Like if you play poker with some guy who's a real asshole, you're not going to like playing poker. It's just the people you bring with you. So if you have friends that you play games with that you guys get along well and you can shoot the shit, kind of riff each other a little bit, like this is perfect game for 4 people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and cheap too. What, $8.99? So really not a bad price.
$9. Yeah, it's kind of like perfectly priced for what it is. But that didn't mean I wasn't. With a minimal amount of work, I feel like these guys have a real hit on their hands because I mean the 3 of us in Ryan. I keep remembering this Ryan. 3 of us in Ryan. We were having a lot of fun, right? It's like I saw. Was it Twitcher in the chat that was asking if it was a 20-minute? Yeah, Twitcher in the chat said that is a 30-minute gimmick though. It doesn't look like it has any longevity. I played it single player for about an hour just to kind of get all the basics down, and while I was waiting for everyone else to download it and get their keys and stuff, and I enjoyed it. I was like, this is interesting, but after that hour, I was like, I think I'm done. I think I've seen everything, and I think it was a 30-minute gimmick. That I probably played for 30 minutes too long. And then I played with AJ, and AJ and I played it for like an hour with 2 AI characters. And I was like,
played it for a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah, and I was like, this is really fun. And then we got in there with Dave, and then so we had 3 players, and then we had Ryan join us, so we had 4 players, and and it just got better and better. And the thing is like there's nothing carries over from game to game, nothing at all. Like, you could win the game with 10 coins. And like the slate's just clear for the next round, and so there's no carryover, and so that sucks. And so I kept thinking to myself, I was like, man, like this game is missing some substance. Something like I want to go to an in-game store, like walk up to the bar and like purchase all these like cool little toys for the table, or masks, or interesting things to just kind of keep things interesting, or customization, that kind of stuff. But the thing is, it's like the second the game is over, you just slap the replay button. And it starts dealing the cards out again, and here you go. The gun's on the table. Put the gun in the chamber, and it's like it's one of those like, oh, let's just do this one more time. But then you end up doing it one more time for like 3 hours.
I think comparing it, and obviously the comparison with the stuff to play around with and all that is Poker Stars, which we checked out recently, and you got to see kind of the breadth of all the items you can interact with, stuff you can buy, the customizable stuff. It's worth noting that this is a small developer, and Poker Stars, though they're not like a game development company or whatever, the people that made it, like Poker Stars as a brand has a lot of money behind it. Like they've had a website forever. Poker Stars is a thing before the VR version. And so I think they've got enough money to play around with that they can offer this for free with all these cool things to do, because also at some level that gets them more money. Like if they have all these customizable face masks and stuff, somebody will spend $5 in their store to buy that thing instead of waiting for it. And so I just don't think a team like Fibrum Games or whatever they are like has the resources to do something that expensive, like with all those fun little things to play around with. I'm just glad that they have the cigars and the peace pipe and stuff. That's fun. Yeah. It's something to do. But yeah, Poker Stars sets the bar there for sure, as far as interactivity and stuff. So that's going to be really exciting when we get that too. But in the meantime, it's a great lot of fun.
Jamie out with a $5 donation saying, "Hey Dave, just a reminder, Poker effing Stars coming to PSVR."
And I said Poker Stars. And that's nice. My nemesis impression.
Nice Resident Evil theme for the day. Thank you very much, Jamie. The VR Grid with the Canadian $5 donation says, "Watching Brian spin the drum then kill himself again and again. Priceless."
Price.
Yeah. Man, it's sometimes you do go on a bad streak where because you generally say you throw the bullet into the chamber, you spin it, and then you're like you figure the first shot it's a 1 out of 6 chance that you're gonna kill yourself. It's like, oh, that doesn't seem too bad, and usually the first shot isn't dangerous, and the second shot's not terribly dangerous, but it's still a 1 in 6 chance. But the pressure does start mounting. If I take a shot and then AJ takes a shot and Dave takes a shot, it's like, holy shit, man! There's only 3 slots left. There's like one of those has to have a bullet in it, and so you start getting like a little bit nervous that you're gonna shoot yourself or hopefully one of your friends. The game mechanics are super simple, and I love it. It's at first it seemed like overly complicated. I was like, why do I need to do this, to do this, to do this? And I was like, oh wow, this makes perfect sense. You shoot yourself and you don't die, you get a coin. Once you have a coin, that means you can shoot somebody else at the table other than yourself. If they don't die, all of your money gets wiped out. Which is
a cool concept. I like to make Russian roulette into an actual fun party game. I wasn't sure what they'd do. The coin system and the cards are just 2 little tweaks that make it work properly. Like, it's really cool. There's a lot of variability in the gameplay and stuff, but it's really simple.
Let me ask you this though: what's the point of having more than 1 coin at a time? Like the coins start piling up.
People.
No,
right? You can shoot at more people.
Oh, I guess if you're no, because all of your coins get wiped out if you shoot somebody.
No, you only lose 1 coin if you miss.
I don't know. I thought
you only lose 1 coin. It gives you an opportunity. No, it gives you 1 opportunity to shoot another person, as far as I understand.
I thought that's what it was supposed to do, but just didn't. But
maybe it glitched or something. It might be buggy, but I don't know. Like,
I was going to say
there were bullets like flying all over the place and stuff.
It was funny how you guys were kind of like saying like kind of my behavior during this game. You were saying I was kind of getting out of line getting a little rowdy.
You were getting a little rowdy.
I think that's what makes this game fun is like, it's not it's a weird thing, like subject for a game, like you said. But I think to me, that's what made this game the most fun, was to be a little naughty, was to be like a little mischievous and stuff, and doing certain things like grabbing Dave and being like, okay, we can't shoot each other, we can only spin it and shoot it ourselves.
I didn't like that rule that you came up with in the middle of the game. You came up with it in the middle of the game, and I was like, I guess I'll abide by this.
I was like, I won't shoot you, I'll only shoot myself. But I was having fun, getting up and playing with like the different objects, the different character models getting in your face and stuff. I thought that was one of the best parts of the game just being, it's a good game. It's a game that's enhanced by being a little bit more silly, not like, not being very uptight. I think it was a lot of fun.
And as some people have asked about and did ask about during my stream, like making a drinking game out of it. If that's your predisposition, you can easily make a drinking game out of this. It would be a lot of fun. Because
there's so many different modifiers.
There's enough time between deaths most of the time that you're not just going to be like chugging the whole time. Like a round takes a few minutes to happen. So there's things you can do with it.
Yeah. This game is out now, Creeper Betty. It came out today.
I thought it was the 21st. Oh yeah, it's today. Cool.
It came out today, $9. And it should I think it's supposed to also be out in the European store today for €9. So
if anybody wants to play with me later tonight, who's a game cat or on my friends list or on Discord or whatever, I would play a couple rounds of this after I eat something after the show.
If anybody picks this up, do let me know. I might go grab some drinks and
be cool.
I'm join you.
I've actually
there we go.
I've got plans tonight after the show, but I do have a short amount of time between the show ending and my plans beginning. So I don't mind jumping in and playing a few rounds of Bullet Roulette after GameScast.
All right, let's call it a date, guys. If you have purchased Bullet Roulette, or if you want to purchase Bullet Roulette, Bullet Roulette. That's right. That's what Ryan was saying earlier.
Boulet Roulette.
He's Canadian. He's Canadian, so he can speak French. Boulet Roulette.
The only caveat I'll add to that is that I don't want to be the one that has to set up the game or the voice chat. just add me to the voice chat, man. I'll show up.
Man,
if you add me, I will come.
All right. All right, so yeah, bullet roulette. Should we? I'd say it's a should we. It totally didn't seem like my thing, but I'll give it the should we.
There's
I
tons
didn't
of
expect to
bugs
have
and
fun.
glitches.
I didn't
Somebody
expect to like
was-
it. It was good.
Yeah, somebody was talking about Poker Stars though, and it's like, you know, if Poker Stars does come out, I could see that replacing.
Well, there's
it.
no either or because Poker Stars is free. So
Oh, right.
you can just buy this and get Poker Stars. It's
True.
like it doesn't change the amount of money you're spending.
It's true.
Yeah.
Should be
Good social games though. We need more social games.
Just a heads up, we said
Yeah.
a lot of great positive things about this, but there are a lot of bugs. Like
yes, there
it's-
are.
Sometimes
Nothing
even-
game breaking though. Not game breaking.
Well, when a button in front
Sometimes
of AJ
game breaking,
pops up, a
I
big red
guess.
button in front of AJ pops up, and he pushes it, and it restarts the game.
I saved your life, Brian.
He earned it.
Sort of
He
game
earned it.
breaking.
Saved your
It's
life.
game
Well, I mean,
ending, but the thing is,
Maybe
it's like
that's
it
the
doesn't.
card that he got that let him get the thing, or what? What was it? Like how did you
Again,
figure it?
No, it was a
This
glitch.
game, this game brings out my naughty side. Okay.
A button popped up that shouldn't have been there. Like other randomly, another gun will just appear on the table. You pick it up and like you can shoot somebody. It's like it's not even my turn. I'm not supposed to have a weapon in my hand. Like there are weird glitches, but things like that. But ultimately, like nothing carries over from round to round. It's all about the social aspect. And so since nothing carries over, it's not like, oh my god, I was winning that round. I'm so pissed off that like a bug, made us restart the round. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's like we were just kind of goofing off and
so
like let's
silly.
just play again.
Yeah, it's so silly in the first place that really you don't. Yeah, you don't. worry about
Triangulator
stuff like
says, didn't also a dead person make a kill as well? Was
that
it-
happened.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
happened.
yeah, I did.
Yes, AJ
I came
killed
back
me.
from the grave.
I think when he was
The extra
dead.
gun showed up, right? And you picked it up while you were dead and
Yeah.
killed someone.
I didn't
Not
know
cool.
it was
Not
going to
cool,
go off.
man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Guns are dangerous.
Now we know why you say ghosts don't exist, because you are a ghost and you
Yeah.
are trying to protect your identity. That was a
All
fun
right.
one.
So there was actually okay. So yeah, should we?
Oh, it's a should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to answer this question when we get to Hitman because I like this question. Spontaneous Weasel in the chat says, "Question for PSVR, Parole. Favorite Hitman VR moment so far? For him, it's chilling on the apartment lounger on the Tropical Haven map. I did that too, and it was really cool. I agree with you. Just laying there, watching the beach, listening to some storyline reveal itself. I don't know if that was my favorite part, but we should discuss our favorite moments when we get to it.
Yeah, I agree. Is it time to get to it?
Well, that's almost
It is
why I
time to
segue.
get
Yeah.
to the main event of the evening,
Thank
which
goodness.
is, guys, a AAA game came out this week, and oh my god, yeah, man, Hitman 3 was released. Let's, Brian, why don't you kick things off and let's do our usual format. Let's start with everything first. Maybe give us just the gist of what Hitman is, and maybe Dave, can you hear me?
Carlos can hear you. That's all that matters.
Dave, can you hear me? What up, Carlos? That's such a cute cat.
Right?
He's a cool cat.
He's
I'm
he's
not
the
gonna lie.
reluctant star of the show right now.
Yes. Well, when Dave comes back, I'll let him know. But
Yep.
wait, maybe. your
In the
headphones on.
meantime, we're gonna give a shout out to
Headphones on.
Creeper Betty with the $5
Oh,
donation.
yeah.
Says just bought Bullet Roulette. Woohoo! Happy Gamescast Day.
Boule
Yes.
roulette. She's
Boule
the
roulette.
best. Let's go,
That
Betty.
is really fun.
I will play with you later, Betty.
Boulette
All right.
Roulette. I love it.
This is what's going down. Brian's going to tell us a quick gist of what Hitman is
Oh boy.
and what released. And then we're going to do our usual. We're going to go back to our review format that kind of works. We're going to start with everything we like about the game and the series. We're going to get all that out of the way first. And then towards the end, we'll start talking about some of the issues it has.
Yeah.
So Brian, why don't you kick it off?
Well, Hitman 3 launched yesterday, and it is the VR mode for it is PlayStation VR exclusive, but it's the entire game, which is pretty crazy. You get into it, and it turns out that you're this Agent 97, right?
47.
Agent
47.
Agent
Get it right
102.
and pay the
He
price.
says a different number every single time.
Agent
I don't know why.
007.
Agent 69.
right? Yeah. So Agent is it now? I've said too many numbers. Is it 47?
It's
It is
47.
Okay, Jesus, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you go into a level, and they're like, they give you a 2D flat screen setup. the premise for the level and the people that you're taking down and why you have to kill them, and then that's kind of it. They thrust you into the level and it's a big open sandbox. And I mean, like, a big open sandbox. Like, you get to take these fuckers down however you want.
But there is some guidance. It should be said. Like, if you go to your menu and you look at mission stories, I think they used to call them opportunities in Hitman 1. But basically, it's like an easy way into getting near the target. So, like, maybe you'll have to find a guy whose outfit you need to take, like a golf instructor. And you dress up as the golf instructor and you go meet with this lady privately, throw a knife in her head and then leave. That's the way it works. But you can do it without those things at all. They're just sort of guiding you towards, and in a lot of ways, they're kind of the most fun part of the game to me. Like, some of those mission stories are really silly and kind of, I don't know, just like well-designed, fun little missions on top of the open sandbox format.
So at some point, somewhere in this great big open sandbox, are your targets, and you have to go figure out a way to take them down. And there's just a ridiculous number of ways to do that, as Dave was sort of giving you a little taste of some of the ways that that's possible. And I want to say, and I do want to say, I think that I could be wrong on this, because I've been playing on the casual mode, because casual mode is difficult enough, but it does seem like on the harder difficulties that if you overhear a conversation, then that's like the extent of the game's assistance. The game stops holding you by the hand on the harder difficulties.
So that's on there's 3 modes. Professional is the middle, and professional is default on flat screen, because it should be noted, in flat screen mode, if you've played Hitman before, you can see through walls, you can see targets from like halfway across the map. They light up in red, you know exactly where they're at. And also you can see enemies that might notice your disguise, like through a wall, halfway across the map. In VR, you don't have that vision. So you're kind of limited in your options, and it defaults you to casual mode. I think because it is just harder in VR without those tools at your disposal to be able to get an idea of like what's going on in the whole map.
Right.
So I really think casual is probably the way to play. Because of that, though, I ended up doing things I never would have done in the flat screen version, like opening fire on a fucking room full of people and stuff like that. It puts you in weird situations in VR, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, and that's the basic conceit, like once you're taking down the targets, you got to get out, you got to get to an escape point and get out of there to complete the level. But really what these games are all about, all of them in the series are all about playing and replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying all of these levels over and over to kind of experience all the different possibilities, all the different ways you can take the targets down. I mean, just the first time through any of the levels, you're not even going to see half the map unless your objective is like, I'm just going to walk around aimlessly and try to see as much of this level as I can.
For sure.
So I mean, they're just so expansive, and I think that pretty much covers it as far as like what the basic game is about. And
it should be noted as well, though. Like, so some people were saying to me, I don't know if I want to buy Hitman 1 and 2. This is Drew, actually, Delirium Drew. I'm going to call him out by name. He was saying, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't have time to beat 3 whole campaigns. I'm never going to finish it. I don't finish games, but the campaigns for these are relatively short. I mean, they're like 6 missions that are each an hour long, roughly, maximum. And so you can get through Hitman 1 and 2, the base campaign, see the whole story in like 14 hours, probably, between the two of them. So don't get overwhelmed by the fact that like there's too much game here for me if I buy the first 2. That's not the case. But then you go back and replay them, and that's where you get this sort of, longevity out of it. So they're not really as overwhelming up front as they might seem if you're like, God, 3 whole games? Am I going to spend all this money? Like, whatever. It's worth having the trilogy, I think, though. Because some of these locations are just impeccable in the first 2 games.
To further expand on what Dave was saying, once you own Hitman 1, 2, and 3, you can play all of Hitman 1 and 2 in VR as well as in VR 3.
And in the Hitman 3 engine. So somebody was like, I wonder how these Hitman 1 games are going to be in VR. The same way it was with Hitman 1 and 2, which the way I played Hitman 1's campaign, was importing it into the second one, and then you play it with all the mechanics that are present in the second one, all the graphics that are in the second one. So you play the first game in the second game's engine, and that's how this works here as well. You play the first and second game in the engine of the third one, so everything is seamless. You have the same options, you have the same unlocks. Everything transfers between all three. So it's like one game, pretty much, a really long one. But
right. Yeah, inside of Hitman 3, it gives you the option. Do you want to play Hitman 1, Hitman 2, Hitman 3, and then you select the levels from there. So, what do we like about this game, guys?
Let me start off.
Boy.
Let me kick this off. Whoa. Because
The
I didn't
microphone
really
was
say
so
anything
excited
there.
it fell the fuck over.
I'm going to go ahead and kick this off with good God. This is one of the best looking PSVR games I have seen to date.
It's crispy.
It's crisp. It is colorful. The detail that there is, it is stunning looking. And there's so many NPCs that are able to go on the screen at once. I have received from several people been telling me that even on the OG, it looks really good.
Yeah,
so that's a
shocking.
great sign because, yeah, I was really worried. One of my biggest concerns before getting this game was when I saw this, when I was playing this, kind of previewing it in the flat version first, I was like, okay, I'm looking at this like grass flowing around and stuff, and I'm looking at this detail. I'm like, oh, this is going to be completely blurry, isn't it?
Right.
Like, because anytime anything has really pushed the level of detail, it's there, but then it's like smeared in Vaseline. Nope. I don't know what they did, but they absolutely crushed the visuals in this. It looks so good. And that's through all three games. Looks incredible.
Yeah, like not only are the environments really detailed, right, but everything is super crisp, right? I'm obviously playing on PlayStation 5, which I from what I can tell is identical to the PlayStation 4 Pro version. But like things out in the distance, super crisp, like very detailed, right? It's like
all the way out in the distance.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But then on top of that, not only do you have these detailed environments that are super crisp, like a high resolution, it looks like clear, like. It's not something we say very frequently when it comes to PSVR games. Like Resident Evil 7 looks amazing, but on occasion the frame,
some little things.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think don't get me wrong. I'm still kind of torn as
it
to which
look
game
fantastic.
I think which one's good. But this one of the things that this does so well is populates these maps with just a ton of people. And there's some like the nightclub level where it's just hundreds of people out on a dance floor. And you're like, how is this happening right now? Like, this is like IO Interactive made magic happen with PSVR.
And a lot of these games, like you'll walk around and you'll see the same NPC like in a group of NPCs. Like there's two of the same person.
Right. A lot of
VR
games, yeah.
I walked around and kind of like took the temperature and like, is this the same person as that lady I saw a minute ago? And there's a lot of different NPC models. It's not just like the same 5 repeated incessantly. Like even if it's just a wardrobe change or a hair change or something, like everybody's a little different. And so it's crazy to walk through a crowd of hundreds of people in VR, like you said, and be like, wow, they're rendering this.
Right.
Like, damn, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
On a base PS4, they did some magic. I don't know what they pulled off, but there's some magic.
There's some magic. Well, the magic is there's like a little bit of popping, right? Then that's the give and take for this is that it is, but it's not like it's really inconsistent. Like it's not just always popping all the time. Some places you notice it more than others. Usually like when you first start out in Dubai, you notice it when you're in those crowds of people, you notice like some pop in here and there, but stuff that is a little bit like tighter, like Berlin, you don't notice the pop in very well. There's lots of parlor tricks and stuff.
I'm curious about Mumbai. Have you guys played Mumbai yet? Because that one has so many NPCs. Mumbai is just like all those open markets.
Oh
like,
no,
it's
I
the,
haven't yet.
In India, it's the one in India. It's like there's just like
3?
shitloads of people everywhere. It's hitting in 2 or 1. I can't remember which one it was in. Right. It's one of the previous ones.
I gotta be honest.
I went back and tried some of the other 1 and 2 levels, and they looked great, obviously, like just as good as the Hitman 3 stuff.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I spent most of my time today, prepping for GAMESCAST to play more Hitman. Spent most of my time today. I was joking with AJ because he was having trouble importing Hitman 1, And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go back and because that's the one I played the most in flat screen. I'm like, so I'm gonna go play some of those levels and see what they look like in VR. And I ended up spending all day today in Hitman 1 in VR. And
Yeah,
holy
it's just as good.
crap.
It's just as good as
Yeah.
Hitman 3 in VR.
Yeah.
They're all equally. It's like you're getting
So
three
impressive.
great games.
I
Three
did
great
play.
games.
I did play the ICA training facility from the first one because that one I do have access to, and then I played Miami and
Miami's
Hawks,
cool.
and
Yeah.
then the first two levels of Hitman 2.
Hawks Bay looked awesome. I really liked the beach and stuff.
It
Like the
does.
way the light was hitting the water and the way the water was coming in on the beach was really
Well,
nice.
I think that's one of the interesting things about this game is like, yes, this game has a plot, a purpose. It has a campaign, like a main storyline, really interesting characters. What I think makes this game work so well in VR are these worlds. And I do think the graphics have a lot to do with it. But beyond the graphics,
the design, the architectural, like the way these are laid out is just
and just the world itself feels so alive. On Hitman 3, there's the Dartmoor level where you're going around the mansion, and I spent, I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. To those who don't know, I've read every Sherlock Holmes book twice.
but he hates puzzle games.
Mysteries, puzzles, they
I
go
like-
hand in hand. He loves it all.
I like a good mystery, but I was walking around and I'll be honest with you, it ruined a little bit of the experience streaming this game for me. Like, this game is really when I was so glad I played a lot more of it without streaming it, because like the world just sucks me in. And like, I listen to all the characters and the NPCs, the conversations they have, the voice acting, the dialogue that they speak is really something else, and just nothing I've seen in VR before. And in that regard, I feel like it is definitely one of the most immersive games I've ever played. Easily one of the most immersive worlds I've ever experienced being in. And it is just, wow, it is so impressive.
So to piggyback off that, Your Long Shadows has a good point here. He says, "Can't wait to plop my mom in for some virtual touristing." And what I was noticing about this game is like, it's really cool in a time where it's not a good idea to travel, to be able to go to all these like places around the world. You're like jet setting. You're in Dubai, you're in Mumbai, you're in Miami, you're in New York, you're in all these cool, glamorous places with incredible environment design that just kind of feel like you're there. Like walking around Miami feels like walking around Miami in VR. And it's really cool the way that they've done that. So like, as a virtual tourist thing, even like if you aren't that into the game, like the environments are so cool to just walk around in. There's a new China level that's like not cyberpunk, but it's got all the neon lights and Chongqing. I love just walking around that place. It was beautiful with the rain coming down and the reflections off the ground. Like,
I got distracted from what I was originally saying, but that is exactly it.
Yeah.
Like there is a game. You are supposed to be murdering just targets. You're not supposed to murder anyone else. It actually, you kind of feel like you're playing a good guy role.
Killed.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad. You actually do want to try.
Bad.
Yeah, of course you didn't, but
only in VR did I kill
But to your point, these levels are so impressive that you can literally buy this game as an experience just to walk around in, because it already gives you access to all the levels. So if you're not into the game itself, like, you need to at least experience just going and, like you said, doing whatever you want, like going on the beach, go that haven, the tropical haven level from Hitman 2. Absolutely stunning. Like, I was like,
Excuse me.
I could sit here, bless you. I could sit here and just relax. Like, I want to just, this game makes me want to just lay down like on my floor on some levels and just relax and kick back and just do nothing.
That's the thing. Like, somebody, I can't remember who it was who brought up what's your favorite memory in the game in VR. I know I called the comment out earlier, but I forgot who asked it. But they said laying on the recliner, looking out at the beach in that level. And I did the same thing. And yeah, it was like super relaxing. Like, just the waves lapping up. It was like a nice little beach. I'm outside my suite. Yeah, like, there's something about this where even though you're supposed to go out and kill people, just experiencing these locations is kind of awesome. Like, you just want to walk around and take it all in before you go murder people.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. Like, I think the levels are so big. It's crazy. Like, it's walking out. Like, you start off and you can kind of see your targets. You hit triangle or whatever, and you have it gives you an idea of where they are. And or you can just go in the complete opposite direction. and I ended up like in a church. And like I knocked the priest out, and I'm walking around as a priest in this little town, and I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, why did I go knock that priest out and go infiltrate
You
his
as a
church?
priest?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Right? No, so like I can't believe my skin wasn't boiling. It was just crazy. I was like, I'm like, my targets are way over here, and I went way over here, and I was like, how does this stuff connect? And that's stuff that I'm still trying to figure out. Like, what was the advantage of going to that church and knocking out the priest and dressing up as him? Like, how did that actually help me? It didn't. Like, my playthrough, it didn't help me because I was just wandering around and being evil, and doing all sorts of bad things, and seeing what I could get away with. Like, oh, I see a guy whose uniform I want to wear. Oh, I'm gonna go beat the fuck out of him, or I'm just gonna shoot him in the face, and let's see if I can get away with that.
Don't shoot him in the face. Don't do that. If you're playing on a professional, you don't want to be shooting people in the face.
I'm not a professional.
Oh, AJ, you threw bananas at people? Because I threw bananas at people too when I was drunk.
I was, yeah. I mean, this is the thing. When I'm playing this game by myself, which I think is like I said, the kind of optimal way. When you're actually trying to play the game, it's meant to be played, or some other ways. I really try to be serious and stuff, but when I'm streaming it, I like to just goof around, and I was just trying to figure out what any silly thing I could do, get into as much trouble as possible. And yeah, one of the things was I grabbed a banana and I smacked a security guard with it, and
nice.
Knocked
did
him
you
out.
smack it? You just hit him with it?
You primed it. You've got the button, so I primed the banana, and I was just like, whack, and I swung my arm, and it actually knocked him out. I also tried to take out one of my main targets by placing the banana in front of him. I knew it wasn't going to kill him, but I was like, what if he slips on it? We were just goofing around. Yeah, death by banana would be great, though.
Told I was wrong. It's not Mumbai, it's Marrakesh. That's the one that has a ton of people.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, walking through those crowds gave me COVID paranoia. Best PSVR game, hands down.
Playing in Berlin definitely was like...
I didn't do Berlin yet. I haven't done Berlin.
You didn't? Oh, my God.
On my stream, I played the first 2 levels of Hitman 3, but then I went back and did other Hitman 1 and 2 stuff because I wanted to try that. So I have not seen Berlin yet.
Man, Steve IRE says watching Brian empty an AK-47 into a crowd in the nightcllub is disturbing.
Disturbing.
You think
he's a tick man?
Yeah, I'm a ticking time bomb. You think watching it was disturbing?
Guys. Put him on a list. Put this guy on a list somewhere.
Dude, I don't think I've ever taken so much pleasure in shooting people in a game before in my life. When I just saw all those people out there, I was just like, I need to kill them all. Like, I need to. And then watching the way they reacted, like, at first they were like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then, like, the whole sea of everybody on the dance floor just went, boom, like, they all just started running toward the exit. They're like, ah, like, in big swarm. I was like, I'm taking you all down before you're out of here.
You could have just pulled a fire alarm, and the same thing would have happened. You didn't have to shoot them.
Less people would have died. No, it was...
Pivignani says, I loved your session in the DJ booth, AJ. Thank you, man. I infiltrated as a DJ, and I went up to the DJ booth, and I was like, I saw some buttons and things, and I messed around with it, and let's just say, yes, it yielded some really awesome results. And it was to the point to where, like, I literally had like an adrenaline rush because like I got the whole crowd pumped up and it got me pumped up and stuff. And I like the side stuff you can do in this game is just crazy. Like what you can accomplish. And oh my goodness. Yeah. Like I was literally like, just like, yeah, like I had so much energy after that. But yeah, that shows you the difference between personalities of me and Brian.
Well, yeah, that's the cool thing about sandbox games where you can really just do whatever the hell you want. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's fun for me to watch other people play this to see how they approach things because there really are so many ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can entirely ignore all the mission stories Like, I'm not going to dress up as a flamingo to kill this lady. I'll just figure out some way to do it myself. And you can. There's all sorts of fun stuff to play with as you unlock more things. You get like exploding rubber duckies that you can.
You get as you level up, you get more places to start out in the level. You get more weapons. You get stashes. You get challenges and things.
And I started relying on some of that stuff too. Like, I was bummed when initially yesterday there was a lot of trouble importing your progress, and we can talk about this in the cons section more. But there was a lot of trouble importing your progress, and I was like, oh, but I love my silenced pistol that gets through checkpoints. I can get frisked with it and still keep going. That's like super useful if you know the game. And I didn't have that, and I was like, I don't even want to play it without that thing. And then I got my thing to work, and it worked. But let's see. Austin hates being honest. Just be fun. I don't know what Austin's on about. Anyways, mods, you can deal with him. So yeah, what do you guys think about this?
Here's one of the things, and this is not a negative. I want to be clear. It's just something that I haven't really delved into enough. Anytime like one of the story segments comes up, or an option to, the game's trying to say, hey, here's one of the many ways you can take down your target. There's something that makes me go, this seems too convoluted. I think a gun will do the trick just fine. And so, like,
getting to the place with the gun is hard sometimes, though, because like there's checkpoints. You gotta, work your way through, get it disguised, all this stuff.
Right.
You can't just walk up to somebody and fucking shoot them in the face and get away with it. So,
But what's crazy is that like I will spend 45 minutes to an hour taking my time and kind of like, scoping the place out and figuring out what kind of uniform I need to access a certain area of the map. And I will take my time and do that. And then I'll get like, 10 meters away from the dude and shoot him. Like for whatever reason, so far I've refused to be like, I'm going to poison a drink, or I'm going to, one of the many other like subtle ways you can get away with killing your target. By that point, 45 minutes into each level, I'm like, I have taken my fucking time so far, and now I need to pull out a gun and kill somebody. And so I'm excited about spending more time with this game to like discover the more subtle ways, and so that I'm not just rushing toward an exit with hundreds of people coming after me with with guns, because I've never once gotten out of a level with without being detected.
Really?
Oh my god!
Really? Okay.
Because I keep pulling my gun out in the middle of a fashion show.
Why would you do that?
The dude. Because
why would you do that?
Because after 45 minutes of being stealthy, I need a release, Dave.
Okay. So for me, in third person, I never had that impulse. In VR, I did have that impulse quite often. I was like, look at this motherfucker. I am going to hit this motherfucker in the face with a fish just because I can, or a meaty bone, or whatever the hell I got.
Meaty bone. That's what it was. Yeah.
It was a meaty bone. And there's something about being up close with these people, seeing the NPCs like face to face, that makes you want to punch them a little more. I don't know what it is. But in third person, I was always very professional. I didn't kill anybody. I wasn't supposed to. Maybe because I was playing on professional instead of casual difficulty. Because as we said, it defaults you to the easiest difficulty in VR, which means you can go around shooting people and get away with it for the most part. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I shot up like
I had to
7
fix that. I don't like that
with a machine gun, and I just ran out of there, and I was fine.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I didn't even switch outfits. Yeah.
My play style has been, I like to explore as much as possible, and like, dude, 47's got some deep pockets now. Like he can just like crowbar, pick up and put in your pocket.
I can put 8 apples in here. I can put 8 apples in a banana and a fucking machine gun. Yeah.
Dude must be wearing like some Jinkos or cargo things because he can just stash anything and walk around with it. And so like
Saints and Sinners, where you're wearing Jinkos.
The same kind of addiction I had with Saints and Sinners. This is the same thing where I just explore, and I'm just picking up everything I could find and putting it into my Jinkos. And then like, you kind of, I usually the first run, I'll take out the boss or take out the contract, I should say. And I try to like avoid anybody else. I've never tried to harm anybody else or anything. And then you only have to just beat the target basically. And then you go back and you replay these levels, and it makes you enjoy replaying. You want to like even some of the levels where I'm like, nah, I don't know about this one. After playing it, I'm like, I have to replay this and replay this and replay this until I'm satisfied. Because there's just like so many surprises and so many secret things and creative things to do. It's amazing, man. Great game design in that regard. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this. It is a fantastic game to begin with. And it's really awesome that we can get something this good to PSVR. I think it's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been, playing for hours and hours now, and I'm still there's still plenty of stages I haven't seen, because what I've been doing is the thing that I didn't want to do on stream, and that is to spend a lot of time with individual levels and make sure that I finish them, and make sure that, like, once I've finished them once, go back and see a different way of doing it. Nothing worse than spending 45 minutes with a level and not having saved it, and then starting it over. But I say that as if it's a bad thing. I say there's nothing worse. But some, like, God, I'm trying to think which stage it was. My brain's fried. But there was one stage where I took 45 minutes just to get inside this one building, like doing all the right things, making sure that I took I took down the right people to get into the right places. And then I died, like really close to my target, and I was like, crap, I never saved it. I'm starting over from the beginning. And I said, what? You know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to skip all of that. And I just found a way, and I vaulted over a ledge, and then I was trespassing. I was somewhere where I shouldn't be. So if someone saw me, there were like 6 people all had dots over their heads. And so if any of those 6 people saw me, it would have alerted suspicion. And I just was super stealthy and managed to sneak from like one little area of crates to another little area of crates, and then snuck my way into the building like in seconds. Like, just so I did the exact same thing, just in a radically different way. And like and both of them were really, really fun. So like, that's what I've been doing right now. I still haven't even seen all the stages.
Yeah, because we just got it yesterday. I still have a lot to see, but the first one I'd really like a lot. The second one seems really nice and polished. And they're, like I said, this is essentially like a story driven game. That is, if you don't like, a lot of people don't like having the freedom. They like to be like kind of a straightforward path, and that's what you do. You have that option as well if you want a more like linear experience. Yeah, the story and the characters and stuff are pretty cool. It's the easiest thing to describe it is like James Bond. It is, and it makes so much sense that IO Interactive is making the next James Bond game, because there are some levels.
I'm gonna put a pizza bet on this and say it's gonna be a VR game.
Ooh, okay, I'll put a pizza bet on it.
I think their James Bond game will be a VR game.
And speaking of which, one thing I got to give a shout out to you about this game: the music, the soundtrack, and the way it builds up, and like when you're escaping and stuff. It definitely gives me some major James Bond vibes. Here I am mentioning music again, being the one that mentions music.
I'm an artist. Man.
I'm just pointing that out. No, but I really got to give some shout outs to the music, because wow, it really sets the tone for some situations for me, and it just adds to the adventure, the immersion, that kind of makes you feel like a spy kind of thing going on. But yeah, man, just wow. Just what a game this is. It's really, really, I think some people might have a little bit of a learning curve. Like some people might take a little bit to get into, but as you get it more and more into it, it just grabs you. And
yeah, I've been totally obsessed with this game. Like,
yeah,
I played,
and there's so much.
The first 2 on flat.
There's so much game.
Yeah. This is something I wouldn't play as a flat screen game.
I played the shit out of it as a flat screen game, and I'm glad it's in VR now, but I was in love with it even before it hit VR, just because I had spent this time with it.
I will say,
the past couple of weeks, I really liked the concept of it.
I will say I played some warming up for this launch, and I will say I actually had a really good time with it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good too. We all downloaded these games. We all downloaded Hitman 1 and 2 leading up to launch, and we talked about it last week on GAMESCAST. And as cool as it was, playing them, again, it was just something that wouldn't have appealed to me otherwise. Now, if it wasn't coming to VR, I would not have bought Hitman 1 or 2 or 3. And
I feel like I would have missed out.
I'm glad that this made me go back and check those out because I had totally missed them. And I think I saw Ian Higdon playing some of Hitman and was like, oh, that looks kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I never went around to buying it or whatever. And it works really well that they were on sale for such a good price leading up to the launch. Like for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, maybe even months. It was on sale for what, like $12, $8, like respectively. The Hitman 1 and 2 games were quite cheap. And so hopefully you managed to buy those before it came out because they're full price again, which is expensive.
Todd, the father mucking Kane Gat says, I like dragging the bodies around and sticking them in weird positions. There were some things, I was a little worried about, some of the limitations of the DualShock, which we will get into. There are limitations to it. There are some things that are kind of like iffy, but much like one thing I am happy about is you can, it gives you the ability to like reach out and like poke people on the shoulder, which I've used several times. And of course, when you swing stuff, you clench your fist and swing the controller and stuff. And I feel like it helps add like a little bit of I call it the immersion boost that it gives it. But there was like a dude in a chair that I had knocked out and I was trying to get to the computer in front of him. And I was like, crap, like I can't, if I had 2 move controllers, like I want to be able to like just grab him and kind of like drag him, just manually drag him and pull him away. And I still want move support.
It's not going to happen. There's a lot of reasons why I don't think it's going to happen.
But
should that bring us to the next part of the discussion?
Not yet. What I was going to say, let me just finish what I was saying here. And that the good thing was that he was in the chair, he was in the way. I was able to smack him out of the way, and like he flew over and contorted around the chair, and then I was able to grab him and pull him out. So there is, even though it's limited, there is a good bit of like stuff you can do to kind of prevent from getting stuck or getting people, the way you can drag people around and stuff. They did like some shortcuts to make it. I think the idea was to make it like as so you're not fighting the controls as much as possible. I still think there is some of that in there, but you can tell that they really tried hard to make it so that it's like what's the best way we can do to make this easy for anyone to play. That being said, okay, I don't know. There's probably a lot more positive things we could go over. There's so many good just polish and so many good things here. But guys, it is time. Let's talk about some of the things that are an issue with this game.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to throw out there just came up kind of in chat, and this isn't a huge negative. So we'll start with softballs. Yeah. But someone was mentioning the contracts mode where basically you can make your own missions and upload them online and other people can play them. That is not VR supported. There are other things that are not VR supported as well. Essentially, the first 3 campaigns, Hitman 1, Hitman 2, Hitman 3, that is all VR supported top to bottom, except for cutscenes, obviously.
Right.
But any extra stuff, bonus missions, side missions, extra, like the Patient Zero DLC for Hitman 1, that stuff is not playable in VR. And there's a big warning that pops up that says, hey, you can play this in cinematic mode, but we're just saying it's not available in VR. Which is interesting to me because the levels are all rendered in VR and they take place in the existing levels, these other pieces of content. But I think maybe just like they didn't redo the narrative part for VR or something. I don't know. Those aren't supported. But there is so much here that is. The first 3 games, like I said, that's at least 30 hours probably if you're playing through all 3 of those. That's pretty good value. So,
yeah.
What do you guys negative-wise? What do you think?
I mean, just to kind of before we move on, it is hard to complain about the amount of VR content we're getting.
Oh God, there's so much. I'm just specifying like some stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up though because that's stuff I haven't even touched yet. And so I wasn't even aware.
Yeah, people were asking me on the stream, and so I tried it.
I think that's like once you've exhausted everything there is to do, that's kind of where the replay value. But I think the majority of people are fine with like, just the main campaign and the other things you have available to you there.
Yeah. I will say, I'll start this one, but I think AJ can take it over. Getting the levels from Hitman 1 and 2 to import into Hitman 3 was not as simple as clicking one button and say, hey,
it was a pain in the ass, and their servers were totally fucked yesterday. They were not prepared for the influx of people trying to do that.
Right.
Not even talking about the save. Hold on. What were you saying, Brian? Keep going. Because that's a different thing, Dave. That's
the same thing. No, that's the exact same thing. Importing. Oh, you're talking about importing the levels? Don't you have to
levels?
Okay, got you. That was easy for me. The save was hard.
That was because the servers were down. Yeah,
I didn't even try to transfer my save. I had done minimal amount of stuff. I had spent a few hours with it before GAMESCAST last week, and I was like, I don't even care about the
having beaten the first two, I was like, I have stuff that I need. I'm not going to play it without my cool shit. Like
right.
that gun that gets through frisks is very important to my technique at this point. So I wanted that.
Yeah. AJ was dealing with a whole nother beast when it came to importing the games into Hitman 3, because he was dealing with like the Australian store. He's got the Australian version, but
I have two. I have the North American. I have Hitman 1 and 2, and I have 1 and 2 on the Australian store.
Such a mess. I can only imagine.
To piggyback off what you're saying, there's still confusion about what versions you need to buy. That is probably my number one complaint about this. Is the stuff on the store is like, my God, there's Hitman 1, Hitman 2, Hitman 3. Then but you have to have the legacy pack, which is like a separate $30. Then you have to have the Game of the Year edition stuff, and then there's like all these different modes.
It's confusing.
Oh my fucking God! And then you have to have the access pass from Hitman 3 to get the stuff from Hitman 2. You got to take the stuff from Hitman 1, put it into Hitman 2 first. Then you got to use that to get it into Hitman 3. What the fuck is all this shit?
Here's my experience. So, as somebody who had already imported Hitman 1 into Hitman 2,
yes,
very easily, that process was really simple for me. Essentially, I just went into the but I meant in Hitman 3 also, and I played later than you guys, so the servers might have been a little more healthy at that point, because you played at like 8 in the morning, and I played at like 5 p.m. So they might have fixed something in the meantime. But when I did it, I just went to the thing and I clicked Hitman Legacy, whatever it was, and it just unlocked, and then they were all there. It didn't even install anything. Like they were just, it was like boop, and it took no time at all. The save data transfer is what took forever. And I went to their website and it said error after like 30 minutes, and then eventually I was just waiting, and it fixed itself after like 3 hours, I want to say. I don't know. It just, that part of it was not ideal, and I don't think their servers were ready to handle the people doing it. But I think that today, if you did it, it'd be fine. Like, I think they fixed it.
To me, the transfer of the save data, it was straightforward. It just didn't work, is what I ran into. But the stuff on the store was just, what a nightmare. Having to have, and then like I'm in the game and trying to import my stuff, and then it's taking me to the store and telling me to buy something that I already have. And then it's like,
well, it didn't do that to me. I don't know why, because I had already bought the DLC for Hitman 2, and I think I had gotten the gold edition of Hitman 1. So everything that I could have got was already in there on my account. Like, I had everything I needed to just plop it into 3 and get everything. Yeah. So it's weird that you guys had trouble with that part. That part was really simple.
It was surprising to me that it wasn't enough to just have the games installed on my PlayStation 5. Hitman 1 and 2 being installed on my PlayStation 5, going to Hitman 3, it was like,
but it makes sense though, because like every Hitman upgrade, every new version, you play those stages in the engine of the current game. So like, even if you have Hitman 2 installed, the code is different than Hitman 3, and it would make sense. Basically what they did is like, I think the levels are already in the install, and you just unlock them. Because that's how it worked for me. Like, I didn't have to reinstall anything else. It just like opened it up, and it was like, okay, cool, you own this, play it. It is confusing though. It is confusing.
There were things I needed to download from the PlayStation Store that I didn't have installed and downloaded and installed And so I went through a kind of like a little bit of a process before realizing exactly what I needed. And then once I realized exactly what I needed, then it was easy. But it was like, but for me, it was like if Hitman 1 and 2 were already installed on my PS5, and then if I was in Hitman 3, why wasn't there a button in Hitman 3 that said, just take care of this for me? Like, just do it for me. Click the button. It might take a second, but then, like, but there I was, like, downloading two different access passes from the PlayStation Store. And again, as AJ was saying, there's so many different Hitmans to scroll through.
Yeah.
You know,
There should be one access pass that gives you all three. There should not be 3 different access passes that you need. Oh, it's so much front end and back end and so much to go through. And then and then you buy the Game of the Year edition in one region and it doesn't have the legacy pack. That's the thing. The Game of the Year edition doesn't have the legacy pack.
Well, which is what is needed. There's like overlap in like this weird way where like some shit you can buy,
so much overlap. Some
shit you can buy has this in it, but some shit you can buy doesn't have this in it, but it has part of this thing that's in the other one. Yeah, and it is confusing.
That is my biggest complaint, though.
But you know,
honestly,
once it's done,
I got a few other complaints. I mean, the motion controls. Let's talk about these motion controls.
But I've got other complaints too. But that is my biggest complaint. It should not be hard to buy. It should not be hard and tedious and confusing and frustrating just to buy a game. That is ridiculous. I'm very mad about that. I've spent so many hours just trying to install the game and play it. Like that doesn't usually that's never happened to me in my life. This is one of the worst layouts in the store I've ever seen.
It's crazy to me because it's super easy for me to import the levels from Hitman.
No, I had
no friction at all. But it was just my account, my progress, from the first few games. That was the problem.
But think about all the people still coming in, it's still in the chat right now saying they don't know which one to buy. I mean, it is very confusing. But so I think that's a huge
guide.
Problem.
We should make a video.
They did a guide, and I think it works now, but they didn't. I don't think they had one before. So let's move on to the next thing, guys. That is my biggest complaint by far. I think it's ridiculous. Let's talk about the motion controllers.
My biggest complaint is motion controls because I think there were times where, unfortunately, I was feeling like I wish I had a button prompt for this instead of having to use the motion controls. What I'm talking about is strangling people and using the fiber wire. Those things are both very finicky and weird. And a lot of the time, you'll accidentally just pat a guy on the head when you're trying to choke him out.
A lot of the time, especially under pressure, right?
Yeah, and so when you're in a tense situation, you're like, I got to choke this guy out.
You got to be quick.
And then you pat him on the head, he turns around. It's like, now I can't choke him out because he's looking at me. And you got to figure out something else. So the motion controls do break down sometimes where it's like, I don't know why, by default too, when you have both hands moving together, it's really awkward. It looks very strange. I would enable the option where it's just your right hand because you look less of a freak walking around like that.
Yeah, I turned that off.
That was one of the first things I did.
I don't like the handcuffs. It's the left hand.
They were all together, and everything I did, I was like, let me pick up this coin with both hands.
I'm glad they did that option though. I'm glad they had that option because when you pick up a two-handed weapon or something, it still pops up. I will say just one thing, and then I want to hear Brian's thoughts on the motion controls. With in regards to the choking thing, I think it's a little iffy too sometimes. It's exactly like what you said. You end up running into people a lot versus just walking up and when we saw the thing, we were like, oh yeah, move controllers. We're gonna do this and reach over their head. It's like no, it's more like really you get behind them, and what helps me is to lean in a little bit. I get behind them, I put my hands up, and then I just lean forward just a little bit, and that kind of prompts the hands to come up because sometimes it doesn't choke them. And the other thing is aiming with the gun. It's got this aim assist thing where if you gently press the trigger, it gives you a laser, but it doesn't always feel like it's that accurate.
Well, sometimes the laser has a big cone because it's
but if you squeeze it a little bit more, it gets a little finer. But yeah, that seems to be like kind of like I was trying to shoot the second level, Hawks Bay or whatever it's called.
That's the first level of Hitman 2,
of the Hitman game.
Yeah.
Hitman 2. Like when you run out and you're on the beach or whatever, when you're leaving and you have to make a distraction by shooting the gas can on the truck.
Wait, hold on. You didn't pick up the frag grenade you could throw at the truck? There's frag grenades right next to the katanas and shurikens, my man.
No.
Oh my God, you throw
I shot the
blow it up the grenade.
I know, but what I was going to say was that in the flak game, I was able to just look at the truck and just aim and just fire. And with this thing, I like emptied an entire clip, like shooting all around it, trying to use the pistol at a distance. And
well, the nade was quite effective.
That didn't work. Brian, we need to hear you talk a little bit, man. Tell us what do you think about the motion controls, and tell us what other little things, some issues you have here.
Don't make me do stuff.
I'd prefer if you
do
stayed
your
quiet
job.
and didn't say anything.
I feel like I've been sitting for like 7 hours. I'm just trying to stretch my legs.
That's how it feels. Yeah, right? My back is hurting again.
Ugh, guys, I think I need to buy a comfy chair.
Let's take a walk around
chair.
Let's take a walk around the house.
Oh man, can I come with you? My cord's only so long.
Let's take a walk.
All right.
I mean, as long as you can still hear me on the microphone, who the fuck cares? Right?
Just take the camera with me, so I feel like I'm going on a walk. I hate
to reach very far. It'd be a short walk.
I hate the motion controls. I really do.
They're not good. They're really not good.
Yeah, like leading up to launch, I tried to be optimistic and say, well, these guys know, right? The developers have been the ones spending all the time with the game. If they found a suitable solution and they think that they've got a nice compromise here to make the DualShock 4 work, then wonderful. I have faith in them. And they've done everything.
Surprise.
Somehow they've done almost everything else completely right, like beyond all expectations. They've blown this game out of the water and then kind of screwed it up at 0 hour with the motion controls on the DualShock. I gotta say, there's almost no game on PSVR that's required using the DualShock for motion controls. There are things like Astrobot and stuff where it's like simple, like, okay, just aim or whatever. But like even things like, we were talking about Moss earlier, like, even reaching out and trying to interact with the world with that, it never felt quite right. Like never as precise or as good as a move controller. And is he doing calisthenics back there? What's happening?
I'm just having a little dance. I'm trying to stretch a little bit here. My back is hurting.
Right. And so, and it's kind of like the Golem situation all over again, except even worse, because now here we are using the analog sticks to move around. It's not distracting at all. And then, and I've got the DualShock in one hand, holding down R2 and swinging to punch. And it's just like, there's like this weight.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not registering because first of all, you always have to be in view of the camera, right? And so what happens is I'll be, I'll have my gun out and I'll be shooting dudes because I like to shoot motherfuckers in games.
Like you do.
Like I do.
You got the gun out, you're shooting.
Got the gun out. She's like, yep, like I do. And what I want to do, because it's motion controlled, is aim the gun. Right, but it doesn't work very well. So, like, if I do this,
you're aiming with T-Rex hands. You got little baby T-Rex hands all the time.
If I do this, then suddenly my character's like doing weird stuff with his hand because it's not tracking the light bar anymore. I have to actually use the analog stick to turn to make sure that I'm still sitting forwards, and so it loses the thing we wanted. We kept saying, oh well, Resident Evil 7 does this so well. Resident Evil 7 uses DualShock controls, and it does it perfectly.
That's because of head tracking.
Because of head tracking. And this game should have used head tracking for like everything.
Yes.
Right? And that would have been fantastic. But this makes shooting feel clumsy. It makes punching feel clumsy. And so who was it? Mark
the punching, the punching feels fine to me, but nothing
like feels fine to me. Everything feels weird. I'm pushing. I'm holding the R2.
Punching is very easy to me.
Easy,
punching is
but it doesn't
punching
feel
is
good.
weird. I'm gonna go with punching is weird because sometimes it's hard to figure out how much force you need to put in the punch. And I'll just bonk a guy on the head, and he's like, "What's up, buddy? What are you doing?"
No,
and
you know
like,
what that is?
Punch,
you know what that
punch,
is, Dave?
Punch.
That's you not pressing R2 is what you're not doing there.
No, I was pressing
because
R2.
I remember
I know how to prime my
I thought
hands.
you got to prime your
Listen,
thing. I agree, though.
It sounds like
Brian,
we've
I
had some
agree.
different experiences, but the fact is that I don't like any of the motion controls at all, any of them.
Yeah.
And they all feel very clumsy. I've had now the camera setup that I have that works perfectly for every other game doesn't work in this. I have to put the camera below my TV, face it upwards a little bit.
Oh, that cage that it constantly introduces into your field of vision, if you don't have the camera just the way it likes it, is
Right.
insane. And you can't turn it off. It's constant if you don't have your camera just set up right.
Yeah.
And I've heard people say that they can't even play it because it's so obnoxious. With their camera setup.
That's a little
maybe
strange.
they didn't change it, but
Right.
I was able to tweak mine enough to get it to where it was okay to play, and it went away.
Yeah, mine only shows up occasionally, like if I'm doing something weird, but like it's still, again, there's no need for it. There should be an option to turn it off completely. This just doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good as far as motion controls go, and
I wish there was an option to just have button prompts. Seriously, just give me button prompts, because we're already DualShock pouring, and then I could turn around 360 and it wouldn't matter.
I'd be okay with the mix between button prompts and then like the head tracking, like you said, the Resident Evil 7 thing. It is kind of funny that they tried to play it really safe here and use the DualShock, and they actually still didn't get it right. It's like most people, even though it kills the immersion, most people still kind of are able to get the DualShock at the very least. It's just not as fun usually. But yeah, I mean, if it's kind of clunky anyways and doesn't work, then why not give me the move support and let me like reach over.
So move
and
support
pull
is
back
such a thing that we shouldn't even.
They would
consider.
have to
the whole
they
game
haven't completely ruled it
the whole
out
the whole
themselves.
game would have to be redesigned for move controllers to work. Like, so this is a nice to have bonus for Hitman 3, but it's not like they went into this deciding that Hitman 3 VR is the game we're making and the flat screen one is an afterthought. It's the other way around. And so, you to upend the entire mechanics of the game to make it all interactive with hands would be really, really difficult. A huge expenditure of time and budget that they probably just didn't have the resources
Well,
for.
one of my hands does this.
But I mean, does it need to? Does it really need to? I feel like the thing is, like, I would like this game better if it was not motion tracked and it was head tracking, like you said, just only head tracking for aiming and stuff like that. Because so half the time your hand is sitting there weird, gimpy, like while you're running around. And if you turn off when the hands move together, your left hand is always doing this when you're running. I'm going to give you a representation here. So I'm Hitman in VR, right? My right hand just sits like this. I'm running. And it's just kind of flopping around. And then occasionally I point at something and it's like, but like your hand feels stupid. It feels like a little T-Rex arm that you can't really do anything good with. And when you can reach out to grab people, it's like weird. I don't know. The motion controls could definitely work.
Yeah.
I wish to have them turned off. Is what
I agree with that. I mean, I think we've always preached our options around here. I still think move controls could be done. It's
think just a huge. You have to redo
you don't.
the whole
You
shit.
no. I think you can do it without rebuilding every single thing. But But see, that's what sets it apart from something like It's funny when I said we're so close. We're on the edge of VR really being like this breakthrough, like ultimate gaming experience. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for, where, like we talked about No Man's Sky earlier, and like No Man's Sky, when they implemented move controls, remember that was just a DualShock 4 only. Think about all the stuff that they
did redesign the whole UI for that,
and
that
how
awesome.
amazing
really
it
cool.
was with that. But they didn't get the graphics. Hitman got the graphics, like, oh my god, but then they didn't get the move controls. They didn't get the DualShock thing, and so like if we're just so close. Like if we can get developers, AAA developers, to give us graphics like Hitman, give us the innovation and implementation for move support and stuff like No Man's Sky did. This is what's going to be like a hit every single time, guaranteed.
Gonna be a hit, man.
Going to be a hit, man. I already think
I've seen that joke like 90 times since this game.
Mark Doust, I gotta address this real quick. Mark Doust has been mentioning for 3 hours almost. Please mention the navigation controller. First of all, navigation controllers do not work with PS5, so they're not backwards compatible. They're one of the first things, so that's automatically like a no. I get where you're coming from, that you only use one hand.
I like, but I agree with him. It would be better than the current situation, but only mildly better. The fact is, it's like dude. Okay, so the last time I played Saints and Sinners during a live stream, right? I got so into that game. When I was being stealthy, I was hiding behind things. I was. It felt like I was that person in that game, right? I was the tourist. When I play Hitman, I don't feel like Agent 39.
47, you dummy.
71.
It's Agent 69. Get it right. There's going
to be somebody in the chat that hates me for making that joke over and over. Somebody's going to be like, he's never even played the game.
It's funny to me that a lot of times we have running jokes that other people created, but this one you just birthed out of your own little brain there. Yeah. You decided you were just going to do this thing, and it's going to be a running joke.
76. I never felt like I was that character. I never felt like I was Agent 47. I always felt like I was playing a game with a DualShock 4, but had like even Resident Evil 7, I felt more like that character with the DualShock 4.
Well, I mean, they like viscerally cut your hand off and shit. Like Resident Evil 7 tries to make you feel personally involved in the thing. It's coming for you. You like they're gonna cut your head off. Like this game isn't like that exactly. It's a different style.
Somehow, even though the graphics in this blew me away, and I kept looking around going, how the fuck did they make this happen? How did they do this? Still, there was something, because of the way I was controlling the game, I didn't feel like Agent 47. I didn't feel like I was in the game, like I was doing these things. I want my two hands, man. I want to move around with two move controllers. That's going to be the way that this game really shines. Like, I mean, it's already an amazing game. Great,
dude.
Right?
It's top 3 for me, maybe. Top 5 at least.
Top 10.
It's top 5 at least.
I mean, easily top 10. I'm
There's
at about
3 full games in here, and they're all really good.
Look, I gotta play a whole game.
Hitman 3 isn't all 3.
You guys go through and you play all 3 Hitman, and then you tell me if it's top 5 or top 10.
The more I will say, the more that I play it, the more I like it. So
exactly.
It's a great game. The fact is, though, it's like this just seemed like a huge stumble. Like there was no reason for it to be like this. They could have nailed this. They nailed almost everything else. And everything else would have been super forgivable. All the little tiny things that they fucked up would have been totally forgivable. But man, I don't want to hold the DualShock and try to punch somebody. Like what? I don't. It doesn't. Feel good. It doesn't feel good.
That. Totally fair.
Well, that's
totally fair.
One of those things that I have to overlook because I love the franchise. I love experiencing these places.
I don't care about the franchise. I don't care about anything. I just think the world itself is so amazing, and like so immersive, and honestly, that makes me forget about the DualShock thing, because like it's the world itself, it's the lore, the characters, the graphics, the detail, the reflections. This shit looks like it's got fucking ray tracing on it. Like
when you're in that China level, when the water on the ground is reflecting.
God! And did you say you played like the Haven, the beach level and stuff with the crystal blue water?
Yes.
Like holy shit, man!
You can duck down there and be walking around. You see schools of fish. There's like seashells under there. Like
those fish that you hit people with and stuff even look like really shiny and stuff. Yeah. Oh my God! I don't know.
And that's what we're trying to say. They fucking killed it in so many different ways, and then but they just didn't fucking finish this game the way they should have finished it. Yes, having the option to play with the DualShock 4 is incredible because we want options for everybody, but that excluded the option for the rest of us who love VR and overcame the obstacles with the move controllers over the last few years and actually like are super acclimated to those controllers. We feel right at home using those move controllers to get around, and somebody over at IO Interactive was like, these feel clumsy.
They had no idea. Yeah, they had no idea. If you look at that's why I have the Saints and Sinners poster right here. Like this is like a badge of honor that I wear because you look at like Saints and Sinners has shotguns. It's got two-handed weapons. It's got full locomotion. It's got inventory all around yourself and stuff. You can do these things if you have a little bit of guidelines. What they did was they did their homework, did their research, and saw what was the best thing. And luckily they just had a very talented team that knew how to do all these things. You could have made this work. I still think you can make this work.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that I think they should have stuck with DualShock 4 even more than they did, and not even had the motion controls, just had head tracking
instead of the hybrid. I think they should have been 3 options.
I don't like the hybrid that much because punching guys with your DualShock feels stupid. It feels fucking stupid.
It does.
And it makes me play stupid. Because I'm just like, well, I'm a dummy in here anyway, so I got these floppy hands, so I might as well just punch a guy for no reason and then take his gun and shoot everyone. But like when I'm playing flat screen, I don't have those thoughts. You know, like there is something a little funky or silly or off about it. I agree with that. And I wish they had just had, if I'm running, have both arms going like this, and if I press the button to punch a guy, just punch the guy where my head's aiming. You know, like that's fine. I would love some option like that. Because if you're not going to go with move controllers, this is a weird halfway point to land on. And I don't even think that move controllers would be the best way to play it. Like, I play Doom VFR on my DualShock 4. I play Doom VFR on my DualShock 4.
I play Doom VFR with my move controllers.
Because you're crazy, and you're
I
the
might
only
be
person
crazy.
who does.
There's
one other person in chat. There's one other person in chat who does that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
dude,
seriously,
you cannot ignore every single person that is saying do make move support for this. Like you cannot ignore that. There's a reason. There's a reason that they say that.
It's not like it's not going to happen.
Hitman has been around long enough, and they've iterated enough over these 3 chapters that there are more mechanics in it than I think you can reasonably equate
you can absolutely
to, like,
make it work.
I don't know if you can reasonably equate it to other games that are VR.
They did it with the DualShock. If they did motion controls with the DualShock, they can do it with fucking move controllers. Absolutely.
I don't think they will.
Well,
it better. I think
they've said they're looking into it at least, right? So like
it's still great as it is. Like it's still
exactly
great.
We've been talking about
the
cons
for a while now.
But that's the power of how good this game is. The fact that I hate the motion controls and I still absolutely love this game shows you just how great every single other part of this game is. And so we've been talking about the motion controls for a while, but man, I don't think anybody should not pick this game up because of the motion controls or because they are
that's a silly idea. People are like, it doesn't have move support, I won't buy it. There are a lot of people out there on the internet that act that way and say shit like that. You're crazy. This game is awesome. Get it. Totally get it. You're just depriving yourself of one of the best PSVR games.
The lowest score I can even give this game right now is a 9 out of 10. Like
it's great.
And because like I said, the more I play it, the more, and there's so much game here, right?
Guys, we found the one person in the chat that agrees with me. Thank you, Tom Flesh Eater. We found that one person who also plays Doom VFR with move controllers.
I see Ulk. There's 2. There's Ulk V3D. Oh. Well, you guys play on easy mode, so that doesn't count.
Whoa! Just because you suck at the game doesn't mean the rest of us suck at the game. All right.
Oh yeah. Did you play on Hurt Me Plenty, dude? Or did you play on Please Don't Hurt Me, Father? Like whatever.
I played on Suck My Dick, AJ. That's the mode I played on. Wow, Suck My Dick, AJ. Right? And if you want to call me daddy while you do it, then feel free.
Oh my goodness.
It's all out of love. It's calm down, Dave. Calm down, Dave.
Oh boy.
It's okay. We're friends.
Suck my dick, AJ. Oh man.
But yeah, man. So look, let's spin this back to the positive. We don't want to end this on a down note because like really it is hard to criticize. Like, but think about all the things. I mean, buying the game and the versions and then the motion controls having some issues. I don't think they're terrible, but I totally agree with you guys what you say. I totally think they need move support, in fact, as well as using the DualShock with the motion controls stripped out of it. I think all 3 of those options need to be there.
Lots of options. Yep.
And I hope they continue to support it because they've really got something special here. And yeah, like I said, this game is to me at least a 9 out of 10 right now. And I have a feeling it will probably just go up. I still think it's a top 10 PSVR game right now, and not even having finished the entire series yet. So it'll be interesting to see if it evolves at all. Luckily, we're still in that launch window. So yeah, I really think that this is the solution moving forward for VR games. Is these, people want AAA games. That's why that's why the PSVR base is still fucking thumping, because you get these AAA games and stuff. And yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit of Sony's part to be like, have a little bit of standardization here, be like, yes, do move support, give them whatever they need to get to do these the way that people want to experience them in the most immersive, fun, and beautiful way possible. But that being said, totally love this game. Absolutely amazing. Ouch. This game kicks all sorts of fucking ass. And
absolutely.
And it is honestly a little bit better than I was expecting.
It's so much better than I was expecting.
Great. Yeah. I thought it was going to be blurry as hell.
Yeah,
it's not blurry.
I don't know how
blurry at all.
Blurry.
It's so crisp.
I didn't know.
I'm like, it's crisp. What the fuck? How is this crisp? And
it looks better.
And beautiful.
It looks better than most dreams.
Is like
the scale, the environments, the locations.
It's like 80 stories tall, and I could feel that. Did you guys look down?
Oh my god. Every time I was up high and looked down, anytime I was up high and looked down, my stomach went, whoa, hold on a second, Brian.
No, there's this part in the hotel in Dubai, the first in Hitman 3, where you can go to the lobby, or there's like a stairway or something, you look down, and it's just like 90 floors.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I don't want to fall off of that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I love these levels, man.
No, and there's so many times where you can go to the top of a tower or a building in a town or something and just look out into the distance, and I'm like, how is that area way over there, like a half mile away, that I can actually walk to and go to? How am I still seeing that? Like, why? How is the draw distance that good, and how is all of this rendering so, like, at such a high resolution? Like, I've just never seen anything like it on PSVR. It's one of the it's probably as much as I love the way Resident Evil 7 looks in VR. This blows me away from a technical standpoint, time and time again. And every level I play is more impressive than the last, and that includes Hitman 1 and 2.
Well, and this is saying something, given that we are all aware of and totally saw the NPCs phasing in and out when you turn your head left and right if you're in a big crowd, and like all these pop-in issues and stuff. But like the fact that the baseline resolution is so good, you just overlook that stuff immediately. You're just like, whatever, I don't care. Like, it's a downside. I wish they could have done it better, but like, how can you render 300 NPCs anyways? Like, they did the best they could, and not at the expense of the game performance. You know what I mean? Like, runs rock solid frame rate. Everything is crisp. It's just it's impressive, is what it is. Like the way this game looks.
When crowds of people pop in. It's like when you turn your head really fast.
They fade in. They don't even pop. They fade into existence.
Right, but it's like usually it's like when you turn your head really fast. Like if you're just walking straight ahead or slowly turning your head and like slowly like doing normal motions, it's something you don't even notice. It's like something that doesn't even happen. Like it's happening outside your peripheral vision. And so I mean, again, I'm just
that makes sense.
Kind of shocked by the whole thing. So I don't know.
I guess I poked at it a little more just because I was showing it off. Like, what happens if I go left and right really fast?
I did that too.
That?
For sure,
like,
just to see.
You gotta test the edges of the thing.
Right, push the limits.
See what it does. Yeah.
No,
I'll tell you what I don't like about this game: the puzzle elements. I get so lost in the puzzles.
What puzzles?
You love puzzles.
There's so many puzzles and things to figure out that I suck at.
There's no puzzles at all. They tell you exactly what to do. There's
some of the side. I know it tells me what to do, and I still can't figure it out. I'm stupid.
I suck at the sniper levels, but I don't think those are in VR anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh man!
Oh, one thing that we should mention that hasn't come up yet.
It's not that big a deal, but
it's a minor con. Yeah. But when you go into a sniper scope, it puts you in cinematic mode.
Screen,
it's pretty seamless. Like there's not a big delay between going to cinematic mode and back to VR.
It's just weird.
It is weird,
but it's
also with the camera too. And I'm not sure if
the camera is a little funky. Yeah,
I can never tell if I'm supposed to use my head to aim it or the controller. And I guess it's the controller. But if you move the controller too far, it takes you out of that view.
It's one or the other.
Really weird. That part is very strange. I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do with those.
I think it is the controller. You have to hold your head straight, and you move the controller. But yeah, it seems like it should be your head.
It's funky.
Hey,
it's pretty funky.
I almost
and the controller will let you turn left and right, but it won't let you go up and down. So it's hard.
All right.
Oh, we got Todd, the father mucking came get with that $5 tip. Thank you. This is from my G's and from my hustlers. Now back to the GZ bitch freeze. Is that he did it in lead speed because it's got an 8-1. Bitch freeze at ease. Now let me drop some more of them keys. All right. Nice. That all rhymed, didn't it?
Yeah. I bet it sounded pretty good. Todd said.
Thank you for the verse, Todd.
Thank you so much. All right. Guys, final words on Hitman 3.
Good shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little weird things about it, but the baseline of it is that it's very, very, very good, and you should all have it. I think you should get all 3 games. Personally, I think you should, if you haven't already bought them in a sale, find the cheapest way to get them that you can. Maybe wait for another sale. I'm not sure, but at some point, play the whole trilogy in VR in this engine because it all holds up and it's all really good. So yeah, it's great. I can't say more positive things about it.
I'm currently at a 9 out of 10. The only way it could be better is if it had move support, and that's basically where I'm at right now. It's incredible. The world is amazing to explore and to discover and to replay a million times. It just never gets old. And it is so much game, so much depth, absolutely stunning looking. I don't know how they pulled it off. Honestly, now it's like, it makes me realize like a lot of games that we've been like, oh, well, the PSVR can't handle that. Bullshit. We've seen now that PSVR can actually handle really good graphics. It's just been a lot of the games the whole time. 9 out of 10 at this time. And most likely it would only go up a little bit. But that's about where I am with this game. It's amazing. It's a must-have. It's a AAA VR game.
It's 3.
What else do you want?
3
AAA VR games. Well, you got to pay for the other ones, but yeah. Donatello with the Scientist Game Cat also has some great words to close out on here with the $19.99 donation. Thank you so much, my dude. Toss me a ninja slice. Says Hitman 3 is an amazing way to start 2021.
It is.
Agree more. I predict 2021 is going to be a great year for PlayStation VR.
Agreed.
This will be true, especially if we get the No Man's Sky resolution patch very soon. Totally agree. For anyone that hasn't joined the WP Discord, please join the best community in the universe. Also agree. Join our Discord down in the description. We've got an amazing community. All these cats that you see here hanging out, they're always helpful. A lot of them play a lot of games and can help you out. Can get games going and stuff. You guys must. They're just as helpful as us. You could interchange any game cat with me basically, and they'd be able to do the job competently.
Is that a thing? Are we going to interchange you with other game cats?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Get Steve Iori in here, Guyson.
Yeah, I think X-Pacer X wants the job. X-Pacer X, you're hired.
I'm not special. These guys can do it.
Donatello, thank you so much for the donation, man. We really appreciate it. Also, I also agree with you. We have an awesome community over there on Discord. We have an awesome community of game cats everywhere, actually. But on Discord, it's fantastic. Where else can you watch a movie about security guards just doing the worst possible things?
It was so amazing.
It was so amazing. It was so crazy. And Donatello, we love you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us last week after GAMESCAST. Man. I think that's going to do it, though. This has been a long day, and we love all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and shooting the shit with us.
Can I ask, are either of you guys going to go stream the Resident Evil demo? Perhaps just in the Discord or something? Like even just
if they would have announced VR, I would. No.
Are you going to play it at least?
Nope.
You're not going to play the demo?
Nope.
AJ, you're a fucking freak of nature. What is wrong with you?
Even I'm going to play the demo. I'm going to play the demo on the
flat screen. What the hell, dude?
And,
I'm going to go play the 3 games that I just bought.
But here's what I'm doing directly after the show.
So Bullet Roulette, I'm going to do some. People are asking. I'm going to do some of that in Discord.
Maybe some of that.
Give me like half an hour. I'm going to take a decompression break.
Okay. Well, I have plans in about an hour from now, so I need to directly after the show is over. I'm going to Whoever sends me an invitation, Jamie, I'll do it. For a chat, we'll get in there and we'll play some Bullet Roulette. I'm down for about a half an hour after the show, and then I got to go. But let's do it, man. Bullet Roulette's ridiculously fun.
Real quick before we go, Scott Jestico, PSN Harry Fella
from the future,
PSVR Game Cat for life
from the future.
He's in the future, and he sent us. These are pounds, euros,
yes.
pounds,
euros,
quid,
yes.
pounds. 19.99 pounds. That's not how you say that. Hi, gentlemen. Hi, Game Cats. Watch when I get home from another night shift on the front line. Damn. Anyways, thank you all for streaming Hitman. Had lots of laughs. See how you guys could murder fools, and I hope Dave's sobered up now. Yeah, no, I did a drunk stream last night. And Pacer with the $5 says reporting for duty.
Yes, absolutely. Future Scott Jestico, that you're watching this in the future. Hope you had a good night and that you're not too tired when you watch this. Thank you so much for your donation. Thanks for stopping in with the tip. Pacer X reporting for duty. Always at the ready. I appreciate it, man.
You know,
Much
so
love.
I've played a lot of poker with Pacer, and he will talk so much shit. Get ready. He talks so much shit when he's playing games like this.
He's taking over AJ's job. That's what he's doing. When we said we could replace
I
AJ with any game cat, I was like, Pacer X is up for the job. That's what he's reporting for duty.
I thought he was saying he was reporting for duty in Bullet Roulette. Sorry.
I got you. Guys, it's been this has been a fantastic week. Obviously, I'm not going to care as much about Village if the final game doesn't have VR support, but just to wet my whistle a little bit and to get a little taste of it. I am excited to play that demo. Probably not tonight, like I said, I've got plans, but tomorrow I think since my morning plans get canceled, I'll give it a shot. Not going to stream it because not VR, but yeah, hopefully everyone's going to dive in and check it out since it's free. It's on PlayStation 5. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And the store works now, so you can get it.
In the store works now, which is even better.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's not broken.
So, all right, you guys. Thank you to everybody who watched the show. Thank you to everybody who hung out, commented. Thank you to everybody who donated, of course. And, of course, to everybody out there who watched the show, sat back, didn't say a goddamn word, and just enjoyed it. Or if you didn't enjoy it and watched the whole thing. I mean, I don't really care, I guess, as long as you stuck around and hung out with us. We love you all. Thank you so very much. Also, make sure that if you don't already subscribe to Dave over at Dave Station VR, make sure you subscribe to him.
That's me.
And also subscribe to AJ over at The Underground, PSVR Underground. And also,
good channel, everything.
GameCat Jew with the $7.39 donation. I hope that's how you pronounce it because it sounded like a racial slur. It says, appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too, Joe.
Shout out to GameCat Jew. She just got her PS5. Same with Darth Vader, the GameCat. And yeah, she tricked out her PS5. She put these color changing things on the PlayStation logo, and I was like, I don't think anybody knows about that. And she's like, no, I did that myself. And she's like, look, and I also got these lights, dude. She tricked out her PS5.
Nice. That's exciting.
Man, I'm jealous. That is dope. But congratulations, you guys. It's amazing. Welcome to the upgrade.
And I just set up my smart lights to bounce along to music. I'm gonna do that while we fade out here.
Can I cue the cat?
The music won't be.
Cue the cat.
Good night, everybody. We love you all.
I gotta say goodbye to Bob Zarkoff, the
Yeah,
Underground Dave Station Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. Silent Evil 999 World Hayes says host the Riggs Mechanized Combat League tournament. Dude, I fucking love you, World Hayes. He has been all he does is for the last 2 or 3 years is just comment to say play World Riggs Mechanized Combat League. You are awesome, man. Game Cat, you thank you so much. Colt 45 Rain Man 88. He says I want to pimp my PS5. You should, Colt. I bet you do a good job. Bit Jello Boy,
PS5, so I put a PS5 in your PS5.
Shades of Gray Matter. Good night. Hack the Game Cat is lit, y'all. Ward Gore, the glorious Game Cat. X Pacer X Super Skies. Yo, good to see you. Jeremiah was a Game Cat. JT Money, the Triangulator. Charlie Fist, the Game Cat. Mark Pringles Leaf, thank you so much. Kiki Kai Paki. Thank you so much.
Dude, next week that needs to be Kiki Kai the Game Cat.
Duran Fan VR, the Game Cat. Rare Delirium Drew VR. Guys on fist bump to you. Death Lee, the Game Cat. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat. Tom Flesh Eater. Gamer Chick 13, the Diet Pepper Cat. Thank you so much. Steve Irie, appreciate you.
For JT Money. JT Money says, watch Annihilation. He's right. It's a great movie. Annihilation.
all right. It was good.
Shut up,
okay.
AJ. It's great.
It was
It was
okay.
pretty
You
good.
guys are wrong.
It was all right.
He's right.
It
I'm
was pretty
right.
good.
It was all
That
right.
was good.
Yeah.
Steve IRE,
It's cool.
tuning in from Ireland. Thank you so much. Earth Coek, thank you so much, man. It's that bearded game cat Sage. Good to see you, man. Welcome back, David the Game Cat, Todd the Father Mucking Game Cat. Who else we got in here? I know we got a couple more cats that were here. Donatello, of course. PSVR Underground. I know that dude. Man, I think that's it. Ulk V3D. Thank
9
you
lives, the game cat.
so much.
Genetic
Nick
blasphemy,
Mulo,
never speak
Seymour
to
Game
Cat again.
Cat, William McKinney, also known as the Gilman. Thank you guys so much.